Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome.
All right, Brave Nation, it's time for UNCP Braves baseball as they host the Chowan Hawks in non-conference action. Joined in the booth today by Todd Coates. This is Cameron Songer. Thanks for joining us for UNCP Braves baseball. Let's meet the starters from Chowan University as presented by their head coach, Taylor Furlow, who's in his 5th season at the helm of the Hawks program. Tanner Woods will lead off and play shortstop, and Connor Arcobasso in right field. He wears number 2. Number 15, Will Gergenis, is in second base, and the 3 spot in the batting order. Zach Cooper is in the cleanup spot, and he is a first baseman defensively for the Hawks. Aaron Flanagan bats 5th. He's the DH, followed by Josh Martin, the catcher. Number 21, Wade Wyatt, is in left field. Marvin is the center fielder and batting 8th, and Emery Chop will play third base and round out the batting order for the Hawks. The starting pitcher for Chowan today will be Matt Kaplan. We'll tell you a little bit more about him when it comes time for him to warm up on the action mound. Right now he's in the visitor bullpen. But, Todd, what really jumps out to you about this Chowan lineup?
Well, Cameron, to be quite honest with you, this is kind of a tale of two cities whenever you look at their batting order. Because when you look at the top, they are all batting fantastically. From 1 through 4, it's an awesome batting lineup. But when you get down to the bottom, when you start getting into 7, 8, and 9, they really start falling off. And I think that's what's going to be the challenge for them against the Braves today.
They will face UNCP's starting pitcher, Matt Fuhr, and the Braves will line up behind him like this. Nolan Pierce is in left, Roberto Rivera in center, Nick Debo in right field, Hayden Buffkin at third base, Drew Beaver at short, Nick Salisbury at second, with Christian Snyder at first, and behind the plate, Justin Datillo. The batting order for UNCP will be Rivera, Debo, and Aliman Saba at 1, 2, 3. Drew Beaver, the junior shortstop, will bat cleanup today, followed by Christian Snyder, then Justin Datillo. Nolan Pierce will bat 7th, and he hits 321 on the air. That's a nice luxury to have your number 7 hitter hitting 321. 274 is the batting average for number 8 hitter Hayden Buffkin, and then Nick Salisbury, the number 9 hitter, sort of a second leadoff hitter with that 324 batting average. And obviously the gem in the Braves batting order is the designated hitter Stabel Aliman Saba. He leads the team with 27 runs batted in and a 425 batting average. That's ridiculous at this point in the season. They're 26 games in, and he's hitting over 420.
Well, it's like you said, though, with this lineup, somebody was going to stand out, and he's just being the beneficiary of it, and that's been great for the Braves. And the thing is that when you look at the rest of it, rest of the lineup, you can't pitch around anybody. You can't pitch around him because the guy behind him is going to hit it just as good as he is. So this ought to make some tough nights for Chowan, and I think we're going to put this one away early.
Matt Fuhr on the mound for UNCP. The sophomore right-handed pitcher is making his 3rd start of the season, his 6th overall appearance. He's got a 1-1 record, and opponents hitting just 160 against him. He has been very good. He's not a usual starter. He'll get the start today in the midweek game. This is the first of a 2-game series. The Braves and the Hawks will be back at it again tomorrow at 3 p.m. And as a reminder, that'll be available for you right here on our YouTube page as well. Some more stats on Fuhr. You can tell he's not a starter because he's appeared in 5 games so far and gone a total of 7 innings. So I think there's either a pitch count or an innings limit on him today. We'll get to see something of a staff day today for UNCP's pitchers. We'll get to look at a couple different Braves pitchers. But Fuhr, with that 1-1 record, 4 hits allowed across 7 innings of work, 1 run allowed, 8 strikeouts versus 4 walks. He's not going to allow too many guys to get on base. And, well, as they say, people aren't on base, they're not going to score a lot of runs.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to point out. The fact that he may not do a lot of work as a starter, but when he is in there, he's very effective because with a 1.29 ERA, that is not allowing base runners. So I look forward to seeing a great pitching from him, and I hope we see great hitting as well.
66 degrees, sunny skies in Pembroke, North Carolina. We'll get first pitch at right about 6 p.m. Just a gorgeous evening for some baseball. We're glad you're joining us. First pitch by Fuhr is fouled off behind home plate at 5:59 p.m. So we're even running a minute ahead of schedule. Tanner Woods is the leadoff hitter. He's actually the leader on Chowan's team in home runs with 4, 18 runs batted in, and a .349 batting average. He's the team leader in all of those categories. And there are different schools of thought about where you bat your best hitter. Do you want him to bat cleanup? Do you want him to bat third? Or do you want him to bat first to make sure that he will get the most at-bats?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where you want to see your leadoff hitter. I have mixed emotions myself, but I believe he's got a little speed too, and that helps.
He's behind in the count 1-2. Here's the windup in the Fear pitch, fouled off again to the right side. On the season for Woods, he has struck out 27 times, walked 13 times, 29 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, and the aforementioned 4 long balls. Fear rocks and fires the 1-2 pitch, misses outside. Chowan coming in with the 10-15 record overall, UNCP 18-8. And these are non-conference opponents playing for the first time since 2014 when the Braves won both games against the Hawks. They didn't play last year. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed, 1 up and 1 down. Matt Fear strikes out Tanner Woods to get the game started.
Yeah, and that's a great start for the Braves, and it's good that Fear is getting into a rhythm early because that was an awesome high fastball that he got their best hitter to chase.
The right fielder, number 2, Connor.
Fear's not going to blow too many guys away with his pure speed on the fastball. It's not a dominant pitch, but he mixed locations pretty well there. Obviously, getting ahead of the hitter was key. Now stepping to the plate is Connor Arcobasso, and he takes strike 1 in the outside corner. Arcobasso is a junior and owns a .311 batting average at this point in the season. Fouls this one off, and the count 0-2.
I tell you what, these Hawks batters, especially these top 2 that we've seen, have really come out and started swinging. They're not holding back.
The windup and the 0-2 pitch just misses the outside corner. You're nibbling a little bit there.
This is a good setup pitch for Fear. Let's see what he comes back with.
Arcobasso 8 doubles among his 28 hits, 16 runs batted in as he hits this one in the air to right field. That drops in for a 2-strike, 1-out single. Connor Arcobasso has the game's first base knock.
Up next for the Hawks, second baseman, 15, Will Gerganis.
Arcobasso is 3rd on the team with 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts, so we'll have to see how important it is for Fear, how much of a priority it is for him to try to keep the runner on first base. Will Gerganis digs in now, hitting .300 this year with 12 runs batted in. Strike 1 swinging.
Gerganis is the 4th out of the top 4 that we talked about just prior to the game, and he came out swinging at it.
0-1 shows bunt, gets it down the third base line, but foul.
Interesting call with your third batter. That's kind of a surprise move that I would see, but apparently they feel they've got some speed.
I'm not sure what the value is if you can get the second or that runner onto second with 2 outs. I mean, it eliminates a potential double play.
Well, and the Braves are playing a little deep. They're playing that double play depth, so maybe that was his thought process.
0-2 pitch is hit in the air, foul to the right side and out of play. You know, sometimes the element of surprise comes into play.
That was a surprise, though.
Definitely a surprise bunt. Not in his back pocket anymore with 2 strikes. And this one misses from Fear, low and outside.
It looks like the Hawks are not willing to tempt Fear just yet. The leadoff guy's a little close.
The stretch, the 1-2 pitch is lined to third, caught by Buffkin. He'll hang on to it as the runner Arcobasso slides back over to first without a throw.
The first baseman, number 12, Zach Cooper.
So 2 away in the top of the first, a runner on first, and Zach Cooper coming to the plate. Cooper is the Hawks' first baseman with a .333 batting average. Cleanup hitter. Doesn't have any home runs, but 2 triples, 6 doubles among his 26 hits. Cooper swings at the first pitch again, fouled off to the right side.
I was watching the Hawks take batting practice earlier today. Cooper's got a very compact swing. Obviously a guy that puts the ball in play with 0 home runs. So he's not your long ball hitter, but he is going to hit the ball somewhere.
Only 10 strikeouts on the year for Cooper versus 4 walks, so he will swing and he will put the ball in play more often than not. That one just misses low and inside. 1-1 is the count. 2 outs, a runner on first in the top of the first inning. No score yet in this ball game. The 1-1 outside. Still not much of a lead off of first for Arcobasso. The pitch just high above the letters makes the count 3-1 to cleanup hitter Zach Cooper. Waiting on deck is designated hitter Aaron Flanagan. If the Hawks keep this inning alive, and they do on the walk. Now 2 men aboard for the designated hitter. 2 outs as the Hawks try to strike first in today's ball game.
Designated hitter 25, Aaron Flanagan.
Well, I don't know if they're worried, if the Hawks are worried about Martin's arm and not taking much of a lead, but I would have thought, especially with that last count, we'd have seen him moving, and he was holding still.
Fuhr glances over his shoulder, now comes home with the pitch. That does catch the outside corner for a called strike. Aaron Flanagan, a .286 hitter with 2 home runs and 14 runs batted in on the season.
And this is where, what we talked about before, this is where we start to see the Hawks batting lineup really start to fall off. He's kind of the last one on the corner, and then it makes a harsh turn downward after that.
The top 4 guys all at 300 or better coming into today's game. The bottom 5 all below 300. Flanagan, the number 5 hitter with that .286 mark. Number 6 hitter Martin at .276 and .263, 197, and 200. Those bottom 2 guys in today's batting order for the Hawks have really struggled. 1-2 pitch on the way. Ooh. Spun him around a little bit. I think he thought that was closer hitting him than it really was.
I agree. Nice pitch, though.
That was the 24th pitch of the inning by Matt Fuhr. 2-2 offering. Swung on, grounded back up the middle, past the diving Beaver into center field. They wave home Arcobasso. Coming up throwing is Rivera. The throw cut off, and the Hawks take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning. RBI single from Aaron Flanagan.
That was a good, again, another solid hit by the Hawks. Fuhr, I think, left it a little bit over the meat of the plate, just like he did with the first hit that he gave up, and the Hawks have taken advantage of it.
You know, if that hadn't been a 2-out situation, I don't think that throw would have been cut off. Roberto Rivera has a cannon for an arm out in center field. Actually pitched a lot in high school, and as a senior had an ERA below 1.
Yeah, I'd love to see him load that up, bring it on home.
He's not the only Braves outfielder who can throw guys out from the outfield. C.J. White, who's not in the lineup today for the Braves, also mastered the outfield assist. Swinging and missing here is Josh Martin, evens up the count at 1-1. Martin owns a .276 batting average. He's played in and started 24 of the Hawks' 25 games thus far. Cooper is on second. Flanagan is on first. 2 outs in the top of the first. Swing and a miss again. Matt Fuhr now just 1 pitch away from potentially getting out of this jam.
Infield defense is set deep for the Braves, so that hopefully we can get out of this routinely.
Outfield shading just a little bit off to the left side. 1-2 offering. In the dirt, he checked his swing and was able to pull back. This Next pitch will be the 30th of the inning for Matt Fuhr. Mentioned it earlier. Not sure if there's a pitch count or an inning count or both on Fuhr. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3 looking. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for the Braves starter, but Chowan does score 1 run. Braves coming up to bat for the first time in the bottom of the first. They trail 1-0.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Warming up for the Chowan Hawks is today's starter, Matt Kaplan. And the stats for him don't look so great thus far. This is his 5th start of the season, his 6th overall appearance. He has no wins and 2 losses. 16 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 25 hits, 22 runs, 18 of which were earned. Struck out 5, walked 13. Opponents hitting .342 against him, and his ERA is 9.92. Now, as a batter for UNCP, you look at those numbers. Maybe you don't look at those numbers. Maybe you don't really know. Maybe they're the Braves coaching staff kind of keeps that, or they don't really let the Braves hitters kind of see that. But suppose they do see that. Your mouth kind of has to water a little bit.
You're right. And the interesting part is as a hitter, they've seen the stats. They're not completely blind. They've looked them up somewhere. But the big thing is that you're thinking about that, but there's also a reason why he's on the mound, and you've got to go out there and you've got to execute, and that's the hardest thing is to be salivating. And as we've talked about before, if you get up there swinging for the fences because you know you've got a guy that serves up meat, you're going to find yourself back in the dugout instead of rounding the bases. And that's an unfair thing to happen for UNCP if they come up with that kind of mindset. But if they'll come up there and take care of business, I think they're gonna run this guy off the mound much like they normally do.
Roberto Rivera leads things off for UNCP. The sophomore hitting .390 this year, which isn't the best mark on the team, but it's still really, really good. A lefty serves up a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, strike 1. The Rivera, Debo, and Aliman Saba to lead things off for the Braves, followed by Beaver, Snyder, and Totillo, and then Pierce, Buffkin, and Salisbury, the 9 in the batting order for the Black and Gold. Strike 2 on another breaking ball outside.
There's 2 good breaking balls by the lefty for the Hawks. Kaplan started off with good location.
He winds and delivers. This one well outside. Defensively, the Hawks line up like this. In the outfield, Wyatt is in left, Harrell in center, and Arco Basso in right. Chop at third, Woods at short. On the right side of the infield, Garganis and Cooper. Behind the plate is Martin. 1-2 offering. Inside for ball 2. Wind up and the pitch. Fouled off as Rivera finally takes the bat off his shoulder.
That looked like a good pitch to hit on it. He must have just missed it.
Rivera third on the team with 32 hits, 6 doubles, and 17 runs batted in. Also has 7 stolen bases, which is best on the team. The 2-2 swings and misses as he chased one outside. 1 up and 1 down for Matt Kaplan. So here's Nick Debo.
Braves, right fielder number 20, Nick Debo.
And he falls off a little bit at 330. But really, the Braves lineup with all those 300s,
certainly gives Coach Paul O'Neill plenty of confidence as he'll watch his team bat throughout this game. Sometimes they take a little while to get going. Sometimes not.
well, it's like we were talking about with the Hawks lineup. How do you decide who to put where?
Debo looks at a 1-0 fastball right at the letters for a strike. Debo, you mentioned the 330 mark. 34 hits, 4 doubles, 4 home runs. 20 runs batted in. Second on the team in that category. Grounds this one to short. Charging it is Woods. This will be a bang-bang play at first, and it's dropped. And that is an error.
Yeah, that was right off the end of the bat, straight to the shortstop, Tanner Woods, and he came up and he fired it. And the glove just failed Zach Cooper there at first, so I don't. That way to be hustling down the line, though.
Would be easy when you see the ball hit weakly right at the shortstop to kind of give just a half effort up the first base line. Nick Debo, he doesn't play like that. And tell you what, there are guys who would do that, but those are the kinds of guys who don't play every day. There's a reason the guys who are in the lineup don't do that. Coaches don't like that very much. So it's the first error of the ball game. The Braves have their first base runner. And Kaplan will throw over to first to check on Nick Debo. Debo 7 of 10 on stolen base attempts this year. The 7 steals tied with Rivera for the team lead. Aliman Saba crushes this ball down the first base line, but foul. Hit the wall either in the air or on one hop. Just a laser. Stabel Aliman Saba has been swinging a hot bat, and the 425 average, well, that's just proof.
Yeah, that's an understatement to say a hot bat.
Another pickoff throw. Debo dives back in. Aliman Saba, 34 hits, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs. Perhaps none bigger than the one in the second game on Friday to knock off Georgia Southwestern, a 3-run homer to go ahead in the bottom of the 8th. Breaking ball, he times this one a little bit better, hits it almost to the same spot. 2 swings, 2 very good contacts, 2 strikes.
Obviously, Kaplan came in as with a little more breaking ball, off-speed kind of stuff. So he's got the Braves off, or at least Aliman Saba's swing just off just by a little bit.
0-2 pitch. Hit to the left side this time, opposite field. That drops in for a hit for Stabel Aliman Saba. The Braves have their first base hit. Runners on first and second with 1 away in the bottom of the first, trailing 1-0. To the cleanup man, Drew Beaver.
The shortstop, 16, Drew Beaver.
And again, the benefits of what we talked about with Aliman Saba hitting 425, he's making everybody around him better, because here comes Drew Beaver at 276. How are you pitching around to get to him?
With Snyder's 343 average waiting on deck. Ball 1 called low and outside now. Debo's kind of got to watch out there on second base. You had both the shortstop Woods and the second baseman Garganis both shading over toward second base, ready in case there was a throw, and Debo was kind of rooted to his spot. Glance over the shoulder by Kaplan. Now coming home with the pitch. And Beaver hits this ball high and deep to left center field. It is off the wall. No, it's over the wall. A home run for Drew Beaver. 3-run shot, and the Braves go up 3-1.
Now I'm gonna tell you what, he caught that pitch square as it could be, and it cleared that fence. Even the center fielder was still looking like maybe it's coming off. Maybe it's coming off. He didn't even run all the way to the wall, but he hit that hard, and the wind is blowing a little bit here. It has gotten a little breezier, as game time came on and as we've gotten through this first inning. And like I just was saying, how do you pitch around one to get to another? And there's the benefit of it right there.
Drew Weaver with his 4th home run of the season picks up RBIs numbers 12, 13, and 14. And the Braves now in front 3-1. Christian Snyder at the plate takes strike 1. Snyder hitting .343 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. Kaplan winds and throws. Breaking ball stays high and inside. Snyder almost saw that one glance off the visor of his batting helmet.
He did. He stayed in there. But then again, Snyder's a big guy. He looks pretty solid.
You can be solid all you want. Getting hit in the head is no joke.
But he didn't flinch. I give him that. I will
3-1.
give him that.
I suppose if you're going to get hit, you'd rather be hit by a curveball than a fastball. It still hurts. The 3-1 pitch catches the outside corner, and the count goes full to the Braves' first baseman, Christian Snyder. And you said he stayed in there. The rule in NCAA baseball, you don't have to try to get out of the way. You just can't make an effort to get hit. And that's ball 4. So an important distinction to make when you're talking about balls coming in on a hitter. If you just stay still,
you're okay.
You're okay, and you can get hit. You can't move your arm or leg to try to get hit. You can't lean into it. So it's a 1-out walk for Justin Datillo, or for Christian Snyder. It's now Justin Datillo at the plate. It was just the 6th walk of the season for Christian Snyder, but he was very patient at the plate, got ahead early, and able to earn his base. The Braves catcher Justin Datillo is a junior with a .312 mark at the plate.
And the Hawks are playing double play depth.
Datillo hits this one off the end of the bat. Over the head of the second baseman, it drops into right field. And everybody's safe.
Well, this is the kind of rally we expected coming in with the lineup that the Braves bring. To this program and to their game, and that's the reason why they're 18-8. They're going to get hits, and it doesn't matter if it's in this particular case off the end of the bat bloop single, or if it's a 3-run home run. They're just good at manufacturing runs, and that's why we've loved the Braves all year long.
Nolan Pierce steps to the plate. Sophomore left fielder hits .321 from the right-handed batter's box. Runners on first and second, and already a 2-run lead on the board for the black and gold. Breaking ball high and outside, 1-0.
And only 1 out. 1 out in this inning.
Hawks will remain at double play depth in the infield. Let's see what Kaplan can dial up here. 1-0 pitch. Pierce hits it high towards left field. This will stay in the yard as Wyatt gets a read on it, squeezes it for the out, throws it back over to third base. The runners can't tag.
Another hit that's been just a little off today, and we've seen it from both the Hawks and the Braves. Just off the square of the bat.
He hit it well, just too much hang time on it. So it forces Hayden Buffkin to come to the plate with 2 outs. 271 hitter is the Braves' third baseman. Also
And
plays
the
some
eighth
first
batter.
base at times. Yeah, and also the 8th batter of the inning. He looks at a breaking ball. It misses upstairs. 29 hits and 107 at-bats for Buffkin. He's got 4 doubles and 3 home runs. Nick Salisbury on deck. Kaplan holds now the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball that is called a strike. Looked a little low and outside. But those breaking balls can be tough to see exactly where they are crossing the strike zone.
Yeah, it'll be interesting towards the end of the game if that's still a strike or if it's moved out into a ball with umpires, because they're just trying to get their field just like everybody else in the game.
2-1 now the count to Pierce. Excuse me, Buffkin. 2-1. Buffkin hits it back up the middle on the bounce. Woods at short takes his time, rifles over to first for the third out of the inning. So the Braves score 3 in the bottom of the first thanks to a 3-run homer by Drew Beaver. 1 inning in the books. It's 3-1 UNCP.
At the end of 1 inning, UNCP 3, Chowan 1.
It'll be the bottom of the order coming up for the Hawks. Wade Wyatt followed by Marvin Harrell and Emery Chop as they get to work here in the top of the second inning. Playing from behind now. They scored 1 in the first. The Braves got 3. A 3-run shot by Drew Beaver. And if that first inning is any indication, we are in for a very high-scoring affair.
We are, and that the hard part is as I talked about in the first inning, here we are, the bottom 3, and we're talking 263, 197, 200 batting averages for the 3, and Fuhrer already took care of the top of the lineup, which was the better hitters. So this could be a very quick up and down situation.
Wade Wyatt, a 263 hitter, takes low and outside for ball 1. All right, with some pop in his bat, though. 1 home run, 4 doubles among his 20 hits. The windup and the 1-0. Grounded back up the middle.
Wow.
On the run, Beaver. Watch it get past him into center field. Leadoff single for Wade Wyatt.
Very, again, another solid hit. The Hawks, when they have gotten a hit, they've been very solid. That was right straight back up through the box, right past the left side of the pitcher's mound. So they've got a bead on what Fuhrer's throwing, but Fuhrer's keeping them off balance.
First pitch high and outside. I think they maybe were expecting Wyatt to be going on the pitch. He is 2 of 3 on stolen base attempts so far this year. Marvin Harrell at the plate, a 197 hitter. The guy with 6 stolen bases. So if he can get on, perhaps via fielder's choice, potentially a ground ball, he'd be able to maybe beat out a double play. He is certainly a quick base runner. The Braves infield at double play depth to try to cut it off. Here's the 2-0 from Fuhrer. Swung on and missed.
Well, and this is the batter that, as we discussed at the top of the first inning, when the bunt was laid down by the third batter in the order, this is your guy that you look to lay down the bunt, and the Braves are showing that and playing short at third.
Fastball high, 3-1.
You wonder if the Fuhrer was a little warm after the first inning and then the long second half. He's got to get his rhythm again.
5-pitch walk to Marvin Harrell. Puts the first 2 guys aboard for the Hawks. And now to the number 9 hitter, Emery Chop.
Up next for the Hawks.
Quick glance, no action yet in either bullpen.
Emery Chop.
Oh. I mean, in a midweek game, you know, you have your pretty much your set Friday, Saturday, and Sunday guys in your pitching rotation.
And usually you're better.
Those are your 3 best pitchers. Yeah, those are conference games. And then in the middle of the week, you play non-conference games. But sometimes you don't really have a good 4th starter to go to in a midweek game. Fuhrer will come out of the bullpen.
And Fuhrer is an excellent starter. If anything, he's a he's a great addition to the rotation.
He's having a little bit of a command problem right now. It's another ball there to Emery Chop. 1-0. Now the pitch. This is high.
This goes to the point about looking at a pitcher's ERA and salivating if you're a hitter. This is the other side of it. You're looking at it and, like we have talked about, the bottom of the lineup, and they're not these strong hitters. So does the pitcher get in his mind, hey, I should be able to throw it by these guys?
Called strike at the knees there on Chop. And then if you flip that again, the hitter's point of view, I would think, you recognize that you haven't had a great year at the plate. You're at the bottom of the lineup. And here's a pitcher who's been pretty strong. You've got to work the count. You've got to be very patient and very selective at what you choose to swing at.
And just looking back over Chop's numbers, as the number 9 hitter, you see he's only batting 200, but he's only had 20 at-bats. So he's got the fewest at-bats out of this program. So maybe they're a little leery of what he might actually possess. He just hadn't had time to show it.
The only Chowan player in today's starting lineup without double-digit starts. This is just his 11th appearance of the season. He's started 8 games before today. Count runs full to Chop. Runners on first and second. No outs in the top of the second inning. Braves leading 3-1. Fier's pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. It's an important out as the Braves get the first out here in the top of the second.
And that was an excellent full count pitch. He throws that high and outside, much like on the Taylor Woods strikeout from in the first inning. You know, went to the high fastball, and the Hawks player chased it outside the box easily.
Here is Tanner Woods, leadoff hitter and strikeout victim the first time he came to the plate. He actually has a younger brother on the team named Hunter, who's not in the lineup here today. First pitch misses. It's 1-0 to Tanner Woods, a junior from Newport News, Virginia.
I apologize. I did call him Taylor.
On the stretch, 1-0 pitch from Fuhr, grounded to short. Beaver has it, goes to second for one. Salisbury over to first, not in time.
And that answers our question from the top of the first, was why do you have your best hitter batting your leadoff versus third or fourth? And as we suspected, you and I suspected, there was he's got some speed to him. Now the interesting play is, do they leave him at first, or do they try to get him to steal and take away the easy play at second?
With 2 outs, it's, I think, a little bit easier to not try to, you're a little less tempted to try that first and third play. You would do it with 1 or 0 outs to try to avoid a double play ball. But you also have one of your best hitters at the plate in Connor Arcobasso. He's 1 for 1 with a single and scored Chowan's only run last inning.
And the Braves have kind of set up to handle that too. And apparently Fuhr's a little worried that he might be trying to take second as well. That's his second step off.
Pitch, chopped in the infield. Buffkin to it at third, throws over to first, in time for the out. So the Hawks get men in scoring position, can't do anything with it. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. UNCP leads 3-1.
In the inning for the Hawks, no
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
he gave up the one hit.
Braves coming up to bat in the bottom of the second inning. They'll start with the number 9 hitter Nick Salisbury, then back to the top of the order with Rivera and Debo. 3-1 is UNCP's lead, each team with 3 hits already. One error by the Hawks, but really the difference has been one swing of the bat. It was the 3-run homer by Drew Beaver.
Exactly, and so Kaplan for the Hawks has thrown a pretty good game so far. But this is how the Braves are going to really capitalize, because here you got the 9th man up to bat, and he's like literally and figuratively.
Salisbury hits the ball high and deep down the first base line, and it is out of here. Nick Salisbury, one swing of the bat, the first pitch of the bottom of the second, makes it 4-1.
And apparently he's a leadoff man with a lot of power.
It's the 3rd home run of the season for Salisbury. He makes his way around the bases. And when you can get that out of your number 9 hitter, that's got to fire up UNCP's team.
Got to be demoralizing to the Hawks. I mean, you're already looking at a stout lineup that's got 324 as their 9th batter, and now they're looking at the top of the lineup where their real hitters are at.
Roberto Rivera, 0 for 1 today. He struck out in his first plate appearance. The only Braves hitter not put the ball in play their first trip through the batting order. Takes outside on the changeup, 1-0. Rivera is a sophomore from Millville, New Jersey, and a transfer from St. Augustine's. This one runs low and inside, nearly hits him. He moves his feet out of the way.
And Kaplan's going to be like Yogi Berra said, and just all pitchers should have a short memory.
3-0. He hasn't really been close on these pitches to Rivera this at bat. The 3-0 offering catches the outside corner.
Kaplan may have been a little nervous.
3-1. Big breaking ball. Called strike 2. Rivera knew it too. Sometimes you see guys start to toss the bat or begin the process of making their way up the first base line. He waited on the umpire's call. And now it's 3-2. The pitch. And nicely ball 4. It nearly hit him at the ankles.
Yeah, after giving up a one-pitch home run, I might would have thrown 2 or 3 pitches around Rivera just to make sure I was okay.
Up next for the Braves, right fielder Nick Debo.
Here's Nick Debo, Durham, North Carolina, another transfer from Brunswick Community College. Last year's Braves team had more than a dozen seniors graduate. You would think of this perhaps as a rebuilding year, but Paul O'Neill reloaded a lot of transfers on this year's team. And Debo swings at the first pitch into the right center field gap. And a diving attempt, it's not caught. Debo has to scamper back over to first. Rivera was off on it, and he's all the way over to third. What an effort by Harrell in center field. He nearly had a sensational catch.
That would have been awesome, and it looks like they're going to have a discussion about it.
Taylor Furlow, the head coach of Chowan, comes out just to talk to the umpire.
I mean, laying out like that, I don't know about you, but from here it was a tough call for me. So I'm assuming the umpire saw it really, really well. And Taylor Furlow's walking away. The coach is walking away. He's not happy with it, but he's not arguing, protesting a whole lot. So I'm going to assume that he agreed with his call.
Only so much an umpire can do. It's kind of a snap decision. It's not like the umpire's right there, right on top of what's happening out in right center field. It's the call made by the umpire who's on the infield grass. There's only so close he can get. So here's Stabel Aliman Saba. Braves DH is 1 for 1 in the game with a single. He scored on the Beaver home run. Beaver's on deck. No outs, runners at the corners. Braves already with 1 run across this inning and a 4-1 lead. Aliman Saba grounds this one over the head of the first baseman. That will score Rivera from third. Debo hustling over to third. He's in without a problem. And Stabel Aliman Saba has an RBI single.
And Kaplan has now found himself in some serious trouble, not just by giving up the leadoff home run to Salisbury, but he's also finding himself in third situations, and I'm pretty sure the coach is coming out to kind of maybe calm down his starting pitcher. I don't see anybody in their bullpen warming up just yet, but that would be what I would be doing if I were the coach. I'd be out there trying to talk my pitcher and settle him back down and see if you can just work through this inning.
Man, what the hell's going on? And Tex, well, I don't remember where Tex come from.
2 runs already across this inning for UNCP. There are no outs. Runners at the corners, and now Drew Beaver at the plate. He's 1 for 1 with a 3-run home run. What do you do against a team that's seeing the ball so well, swinging hot bats, confident, they're playing at home, they're riding a 4-game winning streak? It's a tough spot for the Hawks, and they will be right back here tomorrow afternoon. So there's a little bit of strategy here and how you approach the rest of this game. What do you do with your pitchers? What pitchers do you want to have available for tomorrow's game? I mean, you don't want to be thinking about this game as one that's over already, but the fact of the matter is you're looking at a 4-run deficit, no outs and a runner in scoring position already.
Right, and you're also looking at the fact that this is a non-conference. So how do you play for the weekend?
Beaver at the plate looks at a fastball in there for a called strike. Shortstop is a junior from Lexington, North Carolina, by way of North Davidson High School. The stretch, the 0-1 pitch will not be delivered yet as he goes over to first.
Well, and I guess they're also worried, much like we talked about in the top half of the inning. They're worried, are you going to move up because they are playing double?
0-1 pitch, ball inside, called. Beaver, he had to dance out of the way a little bit. One came very close to hitting him right on the wrists.
Yeah, he just kind of turned his shoulders and got that one.
Aliman Saba on first, Debo on third. The pitch to Beaver, grounded foul down the third baseline and into the Braves dugout. Now some Hawks players make their way over from the dugout into the bullpen. It looks like Harper and Walker. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Drew Beaver goes down swinging for the first out of the top of the second inning. Second strikeout of the game by Matt Kaplan.
And not from a Brave standpoint, you want the to see him come out of a pitcher's mound meeting and him strike out the very next batter. But from a Hawk standpoint, that's obviously a good thing. That maybe whatever the coach said did get him a little settled down and got him refocused, gave him a chance to take a deep breath, if nothing else.
Christian Snyder to the plate, a lefty-lefty matchup. Runners at the corners and 1 out. Pitch misses low and outside. Snyder's a senior from Liberty, North Carolina, transferred to UNCP from Lewisburg College. Stands in that left-handed batter's box at 6'2". Big swing, and he swings over the breaking ball. You could tell he was thinking about a long ball there. He is so aggressive at the plate.
He was wanting to see that one hit the tower. Because he was looking down that line over Adidas straight at that water tower.
The 1-1 offering. Taking this time is Snyder, and it's called strike 2.
I think he scared himself into waiting on that one. I'm a little kind of surprised because I see that Aliman Saba has not stolen a base.
But misses outside.
As he's not even attempted to steal a base. Just that they haven't tried.
Aliman Saba leaves DH and got strong bats behind him in the order. Snyder grounds this one into right field. That will score the run from third as Debo trots home. It's now 6-1 UNCP. RBI single for Christian Snyder. Braves all over the Hawks in this one.
And with 1 out, As you said about the coach, he just reloaded the season. Here we got one out, and here comes the number 6 batter, 7th batter of the inning, and again just reloading with the 312 hitter.
Justin Datillo, another transfer from Maryland Eastern Shore. Swing as he swings over a curveball. By Braves hitters, they're just very ready to pounce on any mistake pitch. Kaplan's delivery is grounded down the third base line, just a bit foul. That would have been trouble into the left field corner.
And it was getting there in a hurry. So it would have, we might have seen possibly 2 runs on that.
0-2 count with 1 out. The pitch misses away. Got Aliman Saba on second, Snyder on first. Those are 2 of the slower base runners in today's Braves. You got a 5-run lead. You don't necessarily need to be super aggressive on the base paths. As Datillo swings and misses, and he's out of strikes. That's the 2nd out of the inning. 3rd strikeout today by Matt Kaplan. So when the Braves haven't been hitting him, he's been good.
Right, it's been feast or famine really for Kaplan, because he's either giving up home runs or base hits, or he's striking them out.
2 outs, and Nolan Pierce comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. Pierce is a from nearby Laurel Hill, North Carolina. Pitch, all it away.
And usually that high and away pitch is a good setup for that big sweeping breaking ball that he's got. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's gotten to the point to be able to throw that.
1-0. There's another breaking ball. This is in there for a called strike. The issue with that breaking ball, if you start high and outside, then you have to back in, and if you miss on it, it's a hanging curveball. 2 home runs by the Braves already in this game. 1-1. Pierce reaches out, pokes it out into shallow right. Arcabasso tracks it down and squeezes for the 3rd out. 3 more runs for the Braves in the bottom of the 2nd. They double their run total. And after 2 innings, it's 6-1 UNCP.
There were no 2 runners left out.
Back in Pembroke with the Hawks trailing UNCP 6-1 through 2 innings. With Todd Coates, I'm Cameron Songer. Thanks for joining us on the Braves Broadcast Network. It'll be Will Garganis, followed by Zach Cooper and Aaron Flanagan. 2 up in the 3rd for Chowan, 3, 4, and 5 in their batting order. First pitch swung on, fouled off by Garganis to the right side, out of play. Garganis is a senior from Williamston, North Carolina, near Riverside High School. And before our next pitch, Matt Fuhr needs to stop and tie his shoe.
Fuhr's working his 3rd inning.
A little bit more than perhaps we expected from him, as he had a very high pitch count in that 1st inning. It took him more than 30 pitches to get out of the 1st. We're letting him work, though. The 0-1 pitch misses inside.
Yeah, but the other luxury, too, is a 6-1 lead. With the Braves having a 6-1 lead, you can let him throw a few more pitches.
He fires a mighty fastball, and this is outside. He's still bringing the gas. That was pitch number 49. This will be 50. Wind up in the 2-1. Grounded to first. A backhand attempt by Snyder. Can't get to it as it gets into right field. And then past Debo as it goes under his glove. Garganis rounding second, heading for third. He's in sliding. That's both a hit and an error. Garganis with the single. And then an error out in right field. Very costly. Cost the Braves 2 bases.
And Garganis showed he's got some wheels, so maybe that was why he was attempting to lay down that bunt in the first inning, because he flew around those bases on a couple of pass balls.
So here's Zach Cooper, cleanup hitter in the Hawks batting order. He walked in his first plate appearance. Cooper's a junior from Franklinton, North Carolina, and a transfer from Campbell University. He fouls off the first pitch. Made pretty good contact. You could hear the ping of the bat. Just jumped off. But straight back. Matt Fuhr gets the new baseball, gets his sign, and throws. Low and outside. A diving stop by Totillo to keep that from getting to the backstop.
Looks like he's trying to put a little extra heat on it. He's overthrowing it just a hair, and in hopes that they're going to chase that hard stuff.
Cooper at the plate. The pitch lined into right field. Debo goes back, watches it go over his head off the wall on one bounce, throws it back in. It's an RBI single for Zach Cooper, and the Braves lead down to 6-2. Back-to-back singles for the Hawks here to start the third inning. We'll see how much longer the leash is for UNCP's Matt Fuhr.
And it's tough to really hamstring Fuhr on that run there, just because of the error out in right field. They put him in scoring position.
First pitch low for ball 1 to Flanagan. Flanagan had the first RBI of the game for the Hawks, an RBI single in the first. He's a redshirt junior from Suffolk, Virginia. Takes there for a called strike.
That was a good location. I don't know if you could hear the pop on that. Fuhr really brought the heat with that.
Fuhr looks over his shoulder. Comes set, 1-1 pitch. Misses low. Aaron Flanagan at the dish. Josh Martin waiting on deck. Still no outs in the inning. And that's called a strike. 2-2.
Braves are set at double play depth. It'd be nice to see one of those turn right now.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Well, that's probably the next best thing is a strikeout.
Yeah, that would be the second pitcher's best friend. No outs, man on first, and he throws a beautiful pitch and gets the swinging K.
So 1 out now, a runner on first. And it's Josh Martin to the plate. He struck out in his first plate appearance. Martin is a senior from Hayes, Virginia. See a mix of guys from Virginia and North Carolina. As Chowan from the northern part of the state.
Yeah, outside of, or I guess you could call Chowan Murfreesboro, really. The two go hand in hand. Up there on the northeast corner of the state, right at the line.
1-0. Hit in the air, foul to the right side. Kind of golfed that one over the Hawks bullpen.
The one thing I am noticing, even though Fuhr's command might be a little erratic right now, the one thing that's true is the Hawks are really not catching up to his pitches, because everything they've hit has been out to the right, and not all of his location has been out to that side.
That was a fastball, and it was outside. Too far outside, in fact. 2-1. So far, 2 runs on 5 hits by the Hawks, 6 runs on 7 hits for the Braves, and 1 error apiece. Fier's 2-1 pitch. Stays high.
It's a good pitch.
Three one is called a strike.
Well, he's been consistent out there. Because there's a lot of whistles in the stands.
Some really good fastballs here from Matt Fier. 3-2 pitches, swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts. That's now 5 in the game for the Braves right-handed pitcher. So we talked about how the Braves were maybe thinking double play. Matt Fier responds with 2 very important strikeouts. And now Wade Wyatt comes up to try his luck. That runner stuck on first. Zach Cooper had the RBI earlier this inning. He has been more or less stranded over there on first base.
And apparently, as that pitch is outside and low, they being the Hawks are concerned about Martin behind the plate because nobody's really testing that. And they've shown that they have some speed, and they've got guys that have stolen some bases and attempted to.
Wade Wyatt, a transfer from North Greenville University from South Carolina.
He's a Greenville, South Carolina native, if I remember correctly. One of the few Southerners they have in the starting lineup.
2-0. This is high and inside. North Greenville University, actually just outside of Greenville in Tigerville, South Carolina.
Tigerville.
3-0. It's called a strike.
Well, that's been a favorable position, favorable location for Fier.
3-1 is swung on and missed. So Fier battles back, and the count's full to Wade Wyatt.
Fier's the type of pitcher that makes coaches lose their hair.
Fall behind 3-0 and then battle back, yeah, that's a way to do it. Payoff pitch, low and outside. Datillo picks it out of the dirt. It's ball 4. Generally, when you fall behind 3-0, good things aren't going to happen for you as a pitcher.
No, but when you battle back, you think, well, maybe I'm going to get it.
Here's Marvin Harrell. He walked in his first plate appearance. The second of 3 walks allowed today by Matt Fier. He's walked 3 and struck out 5. This is the 17th hitter he's faced. He's given up 5 hits and recorded 5 outs.
Good pitch.
Nice fastball, low, outside corner. Harrell lays off, called strike 1. 2 outs, 2 men aboard. Top of the 3rd inning. 0-1 pitch. Chasing a high fastball. That's strike 2.
And here's a guy that Fier just needs to challenge. I mean, a 197 hitter. He's been at bat a few times, 76 times. So his is a legit 197, and he just needs to come at him now with 2 strikes.
Stretch. Fier's 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Matt Fier. 6 in the game through 3 innings of work. Braves coming up to bat in the bottom of the 3rd when we come back on the Braves Broadcast Network.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Buffkin, Salisbury, and Rivera due up for the Braves in the bottom of the third. Braves had 3 in the first and 3 in the second. And very little reason to believe that the bats aren't just going to keep working their magic against Chowan starter Matt Kaplan. We talked about Kaplan's ERA when he was first warming up, that coming in with a 9.92 ERA. And this is a Braves offense that is potent.
Well, and then looking through some of his other stats, he only usually goes about 3.5 innings. So he's starting to push his limit here as well. So it is an interesting game plan that I'm assuming the Hawks are putting together.
Buffkin takes a lazy curveball high and outside. There was not a lot of pace on that one.
I counted the strings.
The 1-0. Another big curveball swung on and missed by Buffkin. I think he figured there was no way that big looping curveball was coming back again, but there it was, back to back.
And he had time to time it with a calendar.
Maybe an hourglass. 1-1, he times this one up and knocks it into left center field. That gets to the wall on 2 bounces. Buffkin looking at 2, and he'll have it standing up. A leadoff double for Hayden Buffkin.
One thing about the hits that the Braves have really been putting together is that when they're hitting it solid, and they're hitting it in the alleys. They're hitting it through the power alleys with a lot of force. So it's not like these are making it easy for these guys. They're not just line driving them into the short field. They're hitting them to the wall with some pace.
Except for a couple bloops. They've had a couple bloops too, but yes, in general, you have 2 home runs, a couple gappers, and the Braves making excellent contact with the ball. Nick Salisbury owns one of those 2 home runs. He tries to bunt, pops it foul.
It did get out of the park. It did get out of the park.
The wrong way, though. Well, if you call straightaway right field 330, 365 to right center, 400 straight away, that would have been about -35.
He'll take it.
Tries to bunt again. This one right back towards the pitcher. A slow roller gathered up by Kaplan, flipped over to first for the out. A sac bunt by Nick Salisbury advances Hayden Buffkin over to third. 1 away. The Braves have another run just 90 feet away with the top of the order coming back to the plate.
And you know Kaplan's got to get tired of seeing these guys every inning.
3 innings, 3 trips to the plate for Roberto Rivera. Nick Debo on deck. He'll pretty much also get a chance to hit. Rivera hasn't put the ball in play yet. 0-for-1 with a strikeout and a walk. And scored last inning on the Aliman Saba RBI.
So is he the only one that the Braves have that is hitless?
Nolan Pierce is also, he's 0 for 2. But yeah, 8 hits in the game for the Braves. This one grounded slowly to short. Trying to score is Buffkin. The throw over to first is overthrown, and Aliman Saba Rivera will take second. It's 7-2 Braves as Buffkin scores. And that's an error on the shortstop.
E6 puts him at second. But there's one of those things where speed helps you not just from stealing bases. That's a spot where, because Rivera is fast, even though he hit it right to the shortstop and the shortstop came charging, he's so fast that he put pressure on that throw to be on time and on the money.
Pitch to Debo, takes on the outside corner for a called strike. But Chowan's defense not helping out Matt Kaplan. Unearned run there. No 0-1 pitch there as check over on Rivera on second.
Kind of wanted to wait and see if that was what they were going to do. I didn't know if he'd actually turn and go all the way around.
Rivera is prone to steal third base. He has a great jump. Takes all the way is Debo. Sliding in safe is Rivera. And once again, he steals third base. More than half of his stolen bases this year have been of third. It's the 5th time he's swiped third base on 8 total steals.
And that was impressive.
Debo grounds this one fair up the first base line. That'll drive home Rivera into the right field corner. Debo's digging. He's looking 3. And he will have it. An RBI triple for Nick Debo. It's 8-2 Braves.
Well, there's a great setup for you because you got the right guy on second who steals third with a left-handed batter up to bat. So that means the catcher's unabated to third base on the throw. He gets third, puts you in a good position, gets the great pitch, he turns on it and sends it right down the line into the corner. That is excellent small baseball right there. Hitting, running, scoring.
Talk about small baseball. Stabel Alimanzaba 2 for 2 at the plate with a pair of singles. He's also capable of knocking the big ball. He pops this one straight up. This won't leave the infield. It's caught at second base by Garganis. So Alimanzaba wants that one back most likely.
He just wanted to be a part of the hit parade, and it just kind of fell short on him that time.
Braves have 10 hits now in the game. Alimanzaba now 2 for 3. And here's Drew Beaver. He has probably the biggest hit of the game for the Braves, the 3-run homer back in the first, 1 for 2 on the day.
Yes, he got this this scoring spree started in the first, and really the Braves haven't looked back since.
First pitch to Beaver, taking, call to strike on the outside corner. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 already this inning in the third, with that third run on third base. A 1 count, 2 outs. Drew Beaver at the plate. Braves up 8-2. The pitch. High and outside. Matt Kaplan kind of struggling a little bit here to get through this third inning.
Well, and again, he's also tracking the same thing that we are up here in the box. He knows who's hit home runs off of him, and he knows this lineup.
1-1 breaking ball just misses outside.
He knows this lineup quite well because he's seen them every inning. And so he's got those in mind that he wants to pitch around and those he wants to pitch to.
Stretch, the 2-1 pitch. And that hit Drew Beaver as that went behind him. It went to the backstop. Debo was ready to come home on the wild pitch, but it's actually a hit by pitch, so it's a dead ball. And puts runners on the corners for Christian Snyder.
All right, let's see if Snyder can get a hold of that pitch that he swung for the water tower for in the last inning. That's the hard part. I'm trying to remember at bats, and I'm thinking I'm going a long way back, and I'm really only going last inning.
One inning, yeah. There's been a lot of at bats in a very short amount of time. So the Braves sent 8 to the plate in each of the first 2 innings. Snyder grounds this one foul along the first base line. Snyder's the 7th hitter this inning for the Braves.
So we're working on a couple of things here, if I understand. We need one more run to keep things on track, and we need one more at bat. So
almost identical innings in the first and second. 3 runs on 3 or more hits, and 2 left on base in each of those innings. 0-1 count, the pitch to Christian Snyder. He pops it up to the right side. This is going to stay in the field of play. Into no man's land, and a sliding attempt. Arco Basso couldn't come up with it. So that huge sigh of relief for Christian Snyder. He'll stay alive.
Yeah, the huge sigh of relief. But again, one of those things where it frustrates the coach because the coach is looking at that and no, it wasn't an easy catch, but you were there, and we've all heard it. Everybody that's played sports from the time they were little, no matter what sport it is, if you can touch it, you should catch it.
Baseball, football, basketball even.
Lacrosse.
Oh, a nice jump. Running is Beaver. He slides in. He's safe at second. Now trying to take home. And safe at home is Debo. A double steal for the Braves. And it's 9-2.
A delayed double steal. And the Hawks knew it was coming. Because Tanner Woods never never even made an attempt to play the bag. He came right in front of the bag knowing he was going to go right back home with it.
So the Braves working a little first and third magic.
Got our third run.
There's the third run. Snyder perhaps deprived of an RBI, but the at-bat continues. 1-2 pitch. Swings and hits it high towards right field. Arco Basso will come in on it in right field, and he's there for the third out of the inning. But the Braves add to their lead through 3 innings in Pembroke. It's 9-2 Braves.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
Top of the 4th inning at Cox Field on the campus of UNCP. New pitcher for the Braves is number 51 sophomore righty Trace Hagler from Kannapolis, North Carolina at A.L. Brown High School. He'll inherit a pretty nice situation. 9-2 lead, and the Braves bats have just been money in this game. We'll start with the number 9 hitter Emery Chop, then back to the top of the order. Matt Fuhr went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, and struck out 6. Very effective at keeping Hawks hitters from putting the ball in play.
Yeah, and I think only one of those runs was actually an earned run out of the 2. So I may be wrong. I'd have to look back at my stats again real quick. I just did it quick. But, you know, he pitched a great game, and it's one of those situations where I kind of expected to see him come back out here. Got it. He may be on a short leash, but I kind of expected to see him just because we've talked about the actual setup of what's the game plan. And being up 9-2, I might would have given him one more inning just to throw it.
First pitch from Hagler today catches the inside corner for a called strike. Emery Chop at the plate. Chop is a junior from Newport News, Virginia, Menchville High School. The 1-0 pitch, grounded to second, a diving attempt by Salisbury, and the 1 strike, no out, leadoff single for Emery Chop.
Well, Chop is kind of chopping through this. He's had some up and downs, but you know, okay, and now a nice little single.
The 6th hit of the game for Chowan. The sun beginning to set here in Pembroke. Lights taking over at Cox Field. This one runs inside. Did that hit Woods? There was no sign from the umpire.
Not indicating that there is one. Woods thought it was. He was looking to toss it down.
Well, it looked like it took kind of an awkward bounce as it passed him and into the backstop.
It did glance off of the glove. I did catch that part, but I'm like you. I thought maybe it hit him, and
I
then
thought it either hit him or maybe hit the bat. You know, either the knob of the bat or the tape there. We'll call that a pass ball as Chop takes second. 1-0. Hard fastball, but low.
This is one of those situations where, got it, there's no outs, and really we're not in danger, but is it one of those situations that we're allowing the Hawks to kind of stay in this game? Does it become something that later in the game that we start being concerned?
Fastball in there for a called strike. Well, when the Braves have had some problems defensively with giving up big innings, errors, wild pitches, compounded. It almost cost them dearly in some games against Georgia Southwestern over the weekend. The Braves did end up picking up the sweep in the 3-game set. That one's inside. But I would be inclined to say at a certain point as a pitcher with a fairly comfortable lead, you just fire some strikes in there, trust your defense to make some plays behind you. 3-1, and that's low. Dropped by the catcher. Going over to third is Chop, heads up base running. Puts runners at the corners for the Hawks, no outs still. A single, a passed ball, and then a walk from Trace Hagler.
A dropped walk, which allowed the base runner to advance from second to third. And we are in the top of the lineup where we've talked about consistently up here in the booth that they are very good hitters. They're disciplined hitters, and their batting averages have reflected it even in this game.
Connor Arco-Basso at the plate. He's 1 for 2. Hagler's pitch. Called a ball. So the Hawks are battling right now. They're staring at a deficit. They know they will have to try to cool off the Braves' bats somehow. One way to do that is by hitting the ball yourselves. This ball skied out towards right field. Debo going back to the track to the wall. It's gone. A 3-run home run for Connor Arco-Basso. Just like that, it's 9-5.
Okay, really, I wasn't trying to jinx the Braves at all, but this becomes concerning. Realizing it really only cut the deficit in half, but the issue is now it's a 9-5 game, which is totally different than a 9-2 game. Sounded Yogi Bear-ish, didn't it? Temperature's dropping, sun's dropping.
First pitch, a called strike to Gerganis. And for Hagler, perhaps an opportunity to kind of reset. Bases empty, no outs. Those 3 runs in, but treat it like it's a new inning now. A fresh start, perhaps.
Key is he just doesn't need to overthink it, like you're talking about.
1-1 pitch. Fastball inside, 2-1. Garganis is 1 for 2 at the plate. He led off with a single last inning, and there was an error by Debo in the outfield, allowed him to take third, and he came around to score. 2-1. Hits it straight up in the air, in the infield. Beaver will make a shallow outfield grass and catch the first out of the inning.
Okay, now Hagler should be able to go.
Has that first out under his belt.
But he's not quite out of the woods yet. We're still in the top half of this lineup that can do some damage.
First baseman, Zach Cooper.
And there's still a lot of baseball left to be. It's only the 4th inning. I mean, it's 9-5, and it's the top of the 4th inning. So still plenty of action left here. Plenty of outs left to work with. Zach Cooper at the plate. 1 for 1 with a walk and an RBI single. The windup, the 1-0 pitch from Hagler. Hit back up the middle again, cooking towards right center field. Going back is Debo, and he makes the catch. In the gap. 365 feet to right center. It's 360 to left center. And those extra 5 feet, I think, came into play there.
Yeah, those extra 5 feet really helped the Braves quite a bit because he gave that one a pretty good ride.
Aaron Flanagan now comes up to the dish. Quickly 2 outs here for the Hawks. But the 3 runs across in the inning. Flanagan takes for a called strike on the corner. Flanagan with an RBI single in the first inning and struck out in the 3rd. One of the 6 strikeouts Brave starter Matt Fear had. 0-1, breaking ball. Misses. Oh, in there for a call strike, a late strike call.
That was a nice breaking ball because I thought it was going to hit him.
I was going to say when the umpire stood up and didn't make a call, that miss looked like it was right over the middle. Fastball outside this time. Looked like it ended up right over the middle. Obviously, it started out right in on the shoulder of Aaron Flanagan. Plenty of reason to take that. 1-2. The windup and the pitch from Hagler. Popped up foul to the right side. That will get out of play.
He came back to that big sweeping curveball again, and this time he was sitting on it. That time Flanagan was sitting on it. But that is a good pitch. That's a new one that Hagler's kind of added as this inning has gone on.
Hagler gets the fresh baseball. 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Trace Hagler starts off the inning a little rocky, giving up 3 runs, but the Braves had the cushion to allow it. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Braves leading 9-5. Hello, Pierce and Buffkin coming up to the plate for the Braves in the bottom of the 4th as they lead the Chowan Hawks 9-5. The Braves Broadcast Network, I'm Cameron Songer. Thanks for joining us. I'm joined in the booth today by Todd Coates. And Todd, there's still a long way to go in this game. The sun's setting, the temperature dropping pretty quickly. At what point you as a player for the Braves, you look at the scoreboard, you say, it's a pretty comfortable lead. Let's try to keep this game moving fast. In other words, you take your foot off the gas a little.
Well, you hope as a coach that nobody ever takes their foot off the gas.
Datillo pops this one down the right field line. On the run, Arco Basso, and he makes the catch in foul territory, making up for the time in foul territory where we couldn't come up with a diving catch.
But that is a very, very true point that you're talking about, though. It's tough to look out there and go, hey, we're up 9-5, but then you also have to look at that inning. We're only in the bottom of the 4th, so 9-5 in the bottom of the 8th is a totally different scenario. And you try not to do it, but mentally there is a little switch. Some of them will switch it off.
Remember, the top of the 4th inning saw Chowan get 3 runs. It was 9-2. Nolan Pierce now to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Takes a breaking ball outside. Still on the mound for the Hawks is their starter, Matt Kaplan.
So this looks like the Hawks' strategy. They're gonna let Kaplan go until his arm falls off.
And this is, I think, what maybe the big difference between a non-conference versus a conference game. Conference game or even a tournament game of any kind. A starter gives up 9 runs across 3 innings. He's out of there. But a midweek non-conference game, is that one misses inside, making it 2. And Pierce, you try to save your bullpen. Excuse me, 3-1. You try to save your bullpen a little bit more. And Pierce shoots this ball down the left field. It gets over the fence. Home run, Nolan Pierce. Well, that ball never really got about 5 or 6 feet over the fence level. Just a line drive home run for Nolan Pierce.
Wow. I've seen some shots before, but that one was just, that was a laser. That was just, hey, I'm leaving the yard when it left the bat. I don't think it wanted to be back here.
You think about different baseball stadiums. If you're a Boston Red Sox fan or even a Major League Baseball fan, at Fenway Park, that's maybe a single. That might not even be a double.
Well, that only hits the wall. It hits the green monster about 9 feet off the ground. Now, Yankee Stadium right field, that's in the upper deck. But, you know, I think Kaplan's really what he's hoping for, and he knows he just gave up that home run, but he just really doesn't want to see Rivera this inning. And that's his challenge right now. He's got 2 batters. He just doesn't want to see Rivera this inning.
The number 8 hitter, Hayden Buffkin, who's 1 for 2 at the plate. He hits this ball into right field. Marco Basso tracks it down before he lets it get past him into the gap. But it's another hit for Hayden Buffkin, his 2nd of the game. And it brings up the number 9 hitter, Nick Salisbury.
Who's already had a home run. So do you pitch to him? Do you pitch around him?
Second baseman, Nick Salisbury.
One of the tough things about trying to pitch to Nick Salisbury is his small strike zones. This is at just 5'5", which is a challenge for a pitcher. It's that's a different kind of look from especially a guy that you don't think of as a power. You don't think, oh, 5'5" and home run power. Like Salisbury changed that notion right away in the first at bat he had to start the 2nd inning. Takes strike 1 there.
Yeah, the first pitch he saw. Just excellent setup. I like this with Salisbury being the 9 batter.
He had a sac bunt last inning, grounds this one to 2nd. Garganis flips to short for 1. That's all they'll get as Salisbury hustles up the first base line to break up what would be a double play ball. So 2nd out of the inning. Back to the top of the order we go. Roberto Rivera will make his 4th plate appearance in as many innings.
4 innings.
10 runs on 12 hits for UNCP, 1 error. For the Hawks, 5 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. You look at it, and the Hawks, I mean, you have 7 hits in 4 innings, 5 runs, and you're getting doubled up. That's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, this is one of those games where when you look at the stat line afterwards, you're going to shake your head going, what?
Great jump, but the throw goes behind Salisbury, diving into 2nd, and he is tagged out. So Rivera doesn't get a chance to swing the bat as Nick Salisbury thrown out to end the 4th inning. Braves do get 1, and through 4 innings of baseball at Cox Field, it's 10-5 UNCP.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Top of the 5th at Cox Field in UNCP. Braves baseball, the first of 2 games against the Chowan Hawks. Non-conference action on the Braves YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Cameron Songer. With me in the booth, Todd Coates. Todd, a fun game so far, a lot of offense. Low-scoring defensive struggles. This isn't the game for you, but I would ask, who are you? If you tune into a baseball game and you want to watch a 1-0 game where there's 6 combined hits.
Well, I'll be honest. Gosh, it's been almost 4 or 5 years ago now. I was actually in Kuwait. Was sitting in a dining facility in Kuwait watching Verlander and somebody go all the way to 9 innings.
This is grounded over to 3rd, and a quick play over at 1st. Martin is out for the first out of the inning.
Where Verlander pitched a no-hitter, had the end of that game, but the big thing was his counterpart pitched a no-hitter through 8 games, so they had 2 no-hitters. So I was kind of intrigued by that because that was 2 no-hitters. But this one, I like to see balls leaving the yard, and that's what we've been watching, and that's been kind of fun.
The ball's been flying out of the yard. 1 home run by the Hawks, 3 by the Braves. Each team with a 3-run homer and then 2 solo jobs by UNCP. 10-5 is our score. Top of the 5th inning. Lead Wyatt at the plate. The pitch. This is high and inside. 1-1 the count.
Foul.
This ball swung on, hit down the first base line, and foul. Wyatt kind of just reaching out there. That was probably a ball he was swinging at, just judging by the kind of late swing, pushing it out towards the opposite field.
Yeah, it was. He was a little late on it and caught it off the end of the bat.
1-2 offering is a breaking ball. Strike 3 looking.
There's that big hook that Hagler's been showing to people every now and then. I'm almost a fan of him sticking with it because he gets a lot of strikes with it.
So 2 up and 2 down for the Hawks. And Marvin Harrell comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Matt Fear, the Braves starter, went 3 innings, struck out 6. And Trace Hagler, in his second inning of work, has 2 strikeouts.
Marvin Harrell is from Harrellsville, North Carolina, up there in the Outer Banks area.
Swings through that one. Nothing in 2. Harrell is a redshirt junior, went to Hertford County High School. 0-2 pitch, chased that one in the dirt, dropped by Datillo. He has to throw over to first for the final out, and he does. 1-2-3 inning on the mound by Trace Hagler. We're halfway through this one. Braves lead 10-5. New pitcher for the Hawks is number 26, a righty, Colby Walker, a freshman from Hertford, North Carolina. He's only pitched 2 innings so far this season. Opponents hitting over 400 against him, but you could call that a small sample size. Tell you, sample size or not, statistics indicate that Chowan has played a tough schedule so far, but this UNCP team is a good team, even by the standards of teams Chowan has played against. And it's shown as the Braves lead 10-5. On the bottom of the 5th inning, it'll be the top of the order. Rivera, Debo, and Aliman Saba try to just push this lead even further for UNCP. The Braves have scored in every inning so far. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third. Just 1 run last inning. So,
well, I was getting ready to say the top of this inning was almost like a normal baseball game. I was actually a little disappointed, but it ought to be interesting watching this new pitcher. He's kind of a three-quarter deliverer. In other words, he doesn't throw it quite sidearm and he doesn't throw it over the top like they've been seeing. So this ought to be a new delivery for the Braves today.
Bear takes that first one outside. Matt Kaplan, the starter for Chowan, went 4 innings, gave up 12 hits, 10 runs, walked 1, and struck out 3.
Of course, Rivera's up to bat, so this is like starting the game.
Starting the second half of the game.
Yeah.
Bottom of the 5th inning. That was ball 2. First half went pretty well for the Braves. Anytime you got a 5-run lead in the 5th inning, you did something right.
Yes, a lot.
And some things went wrong, obviously, for the Braves as Rivera gets that one. A seeing eye single past the third baseman and the shortstop into left field, and Roberto Rivera has his first hit of the game. was a slow start for Rivera. Guy hitting .390 coming into today's game.
Right fielder Nick
He had a
Debo.
strikeout, a walk, reached on an error, and now a bona fide base hit.
Well, another thing that's working in the Braves' favor, as I just was checking out some things on some stats I had looked at earlier today, the fact that the Braves are ahead here in the fifth, the Hawks aren't traditionally good when trailing from the fourth inning on, losing 14 games when trailing after the fourth inning. So that's another statistic that bodes well for the Braves for the rest of this particular match.
Braves and Hawks will get back together again tomorrow afternoon for a 3 p.m. start. Fastball high and inside. A stunt run by Rivera drew a throw from the catcher as Rivera went back to first. No one was covering second base. He threw it into center field, and Rivera will take second base. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I got it. The catcher was kind of blocked by the batter. But when you don't see your second baseman or your shortstop standing there, you might want to hold that one. Maybe eat it a little bit. Maybe knock your pitcher down. One of the three things, but not throw it out there to the center fielder and show everybody your arm.
It was a nice throw out to center field, not about one hop.
No.
Maybe it was a little high. It might have been going to center field anyway, even if someone had been covering. Debo grounds this one into right field. Rivera being waved home. They'll try a play at the plate. The throw off line, and Rivera is safe. An RBI single for Nick Debo. The Braves have definitely not taking the foot off the gas pedal. It's 11-5.
No, they haven't, and that's a good thing to see. I'm glad to see that they're still going, hey, we had an off inning. Let's get back on the threes.
9 runs through 3 innings, 10 through 4. Now no outs in the fifth, and they've got 11. With their most dangerous hitter at the plate, Stabel Aliman Saba has a pair of singles in this game, 1 run batted in. He's 2 for 3. And it's hard to improve on a .425 batting average, but so far he's done that. He grounds this one back up the middle into center field. The singles continue for the Braves, 3 straight to start off the fifth inning. Debo over to second. Aliman Saba has his 3rd single of the game.
And the way this game is going, if he keeps getting looks and he keeps getting singles like that, he may actually come out of this game with a 427, 428. It's something. It'll creep up because right now, you say he was 3 for 4.
3 for 4 now, yeah.
So he's batting .750 in this game.
This is the 27th game of the season for the Braves. So a little bit tougher to make large changes in the batting average through, just in the course of one game, but you get 3 hits. It doesn't hurt.
No,
it doesn't hurt.
It moved a number somewhere in that decimal.
Drew Beaver at the plate now, looks at one outside. Beaver is 1 for 2. His one was a 3-run homer in the first. Struck out and was also hit by a pitch. He's got ducks on the pond here. First and second with no outs. Braves up 11-5 in the bottom of the fifth inning. Walker from the stretch. And goes without the throw there. It was kind of hunched over. It's his interesting posture there from working out of the stretch.
Right, and in this particular case, the way he's kind of postured, it looks more like he's going to be more of a sidearm thrower.
Beaver crushes this ball to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. Oh, and it's foul by a couple of inches.
Missed it by, y'all know the rest.
One bounced off the wall in the air, the very bottom of the wall, as the wind kind of knocked it down a little bit. It's kind of blowing towards right center. That ball just down the left field line. Beaver out in front.
Yeah, the flag's pretty much straight out, going towards right field, right center.
1-1 pitch on the way. It gets past the catcher, Martin, to the backstop. And that's a big change there because that takes the double play ball out of effect. Second and third now. Debo on third. Aliman Saba up to second on the wild pitch.
And this is one of those situations where the pitcher really needed that double play ball, or at least an out of some sort. And now he's found himself in more of a hole.
And he's behind in the count. to the middle part of the Braves batting order. No outs. One in danger of creeping, the lead in danger of creeping further north.
Well, I was going to say blowing this open, but I think that happened somewhere around the second inning.
Strike 2 called. Christian Snyder on deck. Justin Totillo in the hole. It's the Braves rolling here in the bottom of the 5th. Walker comes set. The 2-2. Misses low.
So full count, no outs. You're down by 6 runs. What are you going to do?
There's a little bit of action right now in the Hawks' pen. But just stretching right now. Nothing, no tosses going on. Beaver grounds this one foul down the third base line, and he earns another chance.
That's a good battling swing, because that kind of looked like one of those pitches that where the umpire has been consistent all night on that outside corner calling a strike. So that way to play the game, not only the team you're against, but the guys that are calling the balls and strikes.
Don't want to give Chowan any momentum right now. 3-2 pitch. Beaver grounds it past the third baseman into left field. They'll hold up Aliman Saba at third. It's an RBI single for Drew Beaver. Make it 12-5 UNCP.
I'm pretty sure this was not in the Hawks' strategy, was for Walker to come in and not give him any extra support, especially after, although Kaplan gave up all the runs, you know, he had at least kept it close. And if they're especially sitting out there another middle relief pitcher to get warmed up.
We'll get a meeting on the mound as the Braves start the 5th inning with 4 straight singles. 2 runs already across. Runners will be at the corners as we continue. Christian Snyder comes up to the plate. And now we'll see some tosses taking place in the visitor bullpen. Just a brief visit on the mound.
And he did that for Kaplan. Remember in the second inning, he did that. He came out and he kind of settled in for, I think he ended up finishing out, striking out the side, or at least striking out his last 2 batters or something. He worked through a jam. But when you're talking a 12-5 lead, it's a
different animal.
Yes. As you said, it's creeping north, and it's tough to bring that down.
Snyder takes there. Outside corner, called strike 1. Braves with 12 runs on 16 hits, 1 error. Hawks with 5 runs on 7 hits, but 3 errors. And it's still the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch to Snyder, swing and a miss. He chased a changeup.
You wonder if when the coach came out that, you know, he just said, hey, you got a defense. Throw it up there and let's let them hit it, and we'll get them stopped.
Snyder's 1 for 2 at the plate today. Takes there, low and outside. Walk, an RBI single, and a fly out so far in the game for the Braves' first baseman. It's Beaver on first, Aliman Saba on third. Walker throws home. It's grounded foul up the first base line, out of play. Snyder takes there, and that's ball 2.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little cooler. Sun's definitely hitting its warmth now.
2-2 pitch. Snyder takes. That's ball 3. Pretty close for Snyder, and you wonder if the umpire is, well, he's only wearing short sleeves there behind the plate. He's going to start feeling the temperature change pretty quickly.
Strike zone all of a sudden starts expanding.
It's funny how that happens. 3-2 pitch. Snyder pops it up behind home plate, foul and out of play.
And the Hawks have got to be worried if this goes to if the bases become loaded, because there's really no let off in this bottom of the order. So,
Snyder, the 5th hitter in the Braves order, the 5th hitter this inning. Runner going from first as that one misses inside. So no stolen base there for Drew Beaver. He would have had it anyway. Christian Snyder earns a full count walk, loading the bases. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Braves already sitting on a 7-run lead. Justin Detillo to the plate with the bases juiced.
well, this wouldn't be a hero situation if he were to send one out of here, but
It would be fun. It would be a fun situation.
Right. It would be one of those where everybody will be like, wow.
I don't know if you think about long ball here or you just take what the pitcher gives you. The pitch, Detillo takes, called a strike on the outside corner. Detillo is 1 for 3 at the plate today, singled in the first, also struck out and popped out. Detillo pops this one into the right side. It falls quickly foul, as Arco Basso in right field didn't get a good jump on that as he tried to chase it down.
The Hawks look like they're defensively aligned to play the double play in the middle, but they've got their third and first baseman on the grass in hopes that if it is one of those choppers or something like that, they can try to knock it down and get him at home plate.
Getting an out here without allowing any more runs, at least on one play, would be huge.
A moral victory.
0-2, no outs, the base is loaded. The pitch to Detillo is high and outside. 2 runs already scored this inning for the Braves. Push their lead from 10-5 to 12-5. And now a timeout called as the catcher Martin will meet on the mound.
Apparently they got crossed up on some of their signals. Because this is a precarious position. You don't want to necessarily leave one out there. Because even a strong shot that we've seen up into the power alleys would score 2 runs. Maybe.
Yes, it's a 7-run game right now, and the Braves are comfortably ahead, but you still treat this situation like you would, if it was a tight game, because that's how you get reps. Breeze picking up, blowing straight out. Detillo crushes this ball towards left center field. Wyatt comes in, makes the catch in left field, tagging up and trying to score from third is Ali Monsaba. The throw cut off. It's a sac fly for Justin Detillo. Makes it 13-5.
Well, that was a good jump by Wyatt out in left field, and excellent play. Just typical sac fly, and it does the one thing that the Hawks kind of need, was they needed an out. But the Braves don't want that to happen, so.
It took 6 batters for them to get an out this inning. That's usually not how you want it to go down out there on the mound. Colby Walker in his first inning of work. Still has runners on first and second with Nolan Pierce at the plate, who homered in his last plate appearance. Takes that one inside for a ball.
I don't know what we'll do if Rivera gets up again and we don't have him to hit in the next inning. That might just throw me all off. And we're 3 batters away.
Pierce pops this one to the left side. It's falling quickly, and it's a fair ball just inside the chalk of the third base line. RBI single for Nolan Pierce, and even when the ball isn't being hit well, the Braves are still coming up with runs. Why not? It's 14-5.
What is the does anybody have any idea or a stat on what is the most runs in a Braves game?
They've had some very high-scoring games this year. I have to look at that and get it off. I don't have it off the top of my head, but they are capable of scoring a lot of runs.
And this is one of those situations. Ooh.
Ball grounded fair to first. His buffkin is tagged out. That one looked like it might have glanced his foot, but he grounds out.
That was a full swinging bunt. I'll just call it that. I don't know how else to actually call that.
Second baseman Nick Salisbury.
And see, Salisbury comes up to bat now, and you're not out of the woods yet. He's proven he's got power, and he's proven he works a count, and he's proven that he's going to hit the ball very hard. So.
And looks like the Hawks will make a pitching change. So 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. The Braves up 14-5. They've got runners on second and third. Nick Salisbury will come back to the plate when we come back on the Braves Broadcast Network.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
Back in Pembroke, UNCP leading 14-5. And it's already looking like one of the best games the Braves have had all year. Their season high for runs in a game was 17. They knocked off Concord 17-5 back on February 14th.
That was this season. I'm thinking that might be in jeopardy. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean the Hawks have made a
they've got 14. It's the bottom of the 5th, and they're 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs. The new pitcher, by the way, for Chowan is number 11, Carter Seawick. He's a senior from Stafford, Virginia, Colonial Forge High School. And he inherits not an ideal situation from his teammate, as Colby Walker went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 runs, and is responsible for the remaining 2 base runners.
And Salisbury's primed to go yard again.
Salisbury at the plate is 1 for 2. A home run, a sac bunt, and a fielder's choice already. He's getting his 4th at bat. He's the number 9 hitter, making his 4th at bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fastball goes high and outside, and a nice effort by Martin. Keep that from going all the way to the backstop. It's one of the situations where that was getting to the backstop in such a hurry, and it is Christian Snyder on 3rd, and the Braves are up by 9 runs. I'm not sure he would have even tried to go.
He might have waited for it to come back to him because it was moving pretty good too.
The stretch, the 1-0. Salisbury takes again, high and outside.
That's one of those Bob Euchre just a bit outside kind of moments, because that would have been behind a right-handed batter.
And it would have been high on just about anybody in the Braves batting order, let alone Nick Salisbury,
Yes.
who's the shortest hitter in the Braves batting order. 2-0. Breaking ball stays high. 3-0. First base is open. Roberto Rivera waiting on deck. If the Braves can get to him, he would be batting for the 2nd time in the inning. The 3-0 pitch. In there for a called strike on the inside corner.
Took him 4 pitches, but he finally found the strike zone.
It's Pierce on 2nd, Snyder on 3rd. Seawick with the 3-1. It's popped out towards right field. Going back is Arcobasso. He is to it and makes the catch for the 3rd out. The Braves leave 2 men aboard in the 5th inning when they bat around. They've pushed their lead to 14-5. We'll be right back on the Braves Broadcast Network.
4 runs, 5 hits.
Top of the 6th, Chowan at the plate. They need some offense. They trail 14-5 through 5 innings of play. With Todd Coates, I'm Cameron Songer on the Braves Broadcast Network. Trace Hagler on the mound once again for UNCP after that very long 5th inning. First pitch grounded to second. Salisbury to it. The throw to first in time, and there's one away.
Yeah, it's starting to get cooler, and I think those are more of the pitches we need to see. One pitch, one ground out, moving on, kind of a thing.
Yeah, last inning was a very quick 1-2-3 inning for the Hawks. And tell you what, seems like the Braves have been at bat the entire game. There's been some long innings. 3 in the first, second, and third. 1 in the fourth, and 4 in the fifth for UNC Pembroke. For the Hawks, 1 in the first and the third, and 3 in the fourth on a 3-run homer.
Okay.
And they're going to say this one hit Tanner Woods.
Hit him on the elbow is what the indication was. Even Tanner Woods didn't act like it hit him.
That's an if you say so, Blue.
I won't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Exactly. Take the base where you can get it. It's Tanner Woods now on base for the 3rd time in a row. He reached on a fielder's choice, walked last time, and now it's been hit by a pitch. Swing and a miss there by Connor Arcobasso. Arcobasso had the 3-run homer in the 4th. That was really the lone offensive highlight for the Hawks. He also scored a run in the 1st. So you could call this a come-from-behind, assuming this result holds, a come-from-behind victory for the Braves as they trailed 1-0 at the start of the middle of the 1st inning.
You're reaching.
A little bit,
I
yeah.
mean, you're way reaching.
A little bit. Just a little bit. Breaking ball high and inside makes it 1-2 to Arcobasso. Technically, they trailed, so it would technically be a come-from-behind victory.
All right, if we're going to go on technicalities, then technically it's not a game until after the 7th inning. So
Good point. That's low, the fastball by Hagler.
I'm glad the fastball was low. I thought you were calling me low for calling you out technically.
No. Arcobasso 2 for 3 at the plate today. Runner on first, 1 out. Top of the 6th. Hagler from the stretch, the pitch. Another fastball just misses below the knees.
Well, even though it's getting a little bit cooler, this home crowd for the Braves has definitely stuck it out. They've got out their blankets. I see several people with blankets and a couple of big coats.
That's ball 4. Arcobasso battles back and earns the walk. Now 2 aboard. Will Garganis coming to the plate. And yes, it's going to end up being a chilly night, but for the Braves baseball fans who've been out here since February watching some of these games, this is mild.
This is balmy.
I'm not gonna say it's nice because it is chilly, and like you said, this morning it was a lot colder. There was a frost warning in the area this morning.
Well, it was 33 when I got up this morning.
But we had some games for the first couple weeks of February.
And that was with some drizzle in the air too, wasn't it?
A couple games, yeah. First pitch fouled off by Garganis. Garganis at the plate is 1 for 3 today. Rounded down the first base line, spins foul for strike 2.
That was one of those interesting hits. I don't know if you noticed it, but it actually hit foul, then kicked over into fair, and then kicked back out foul again. So, because it hit right here just past the batter's box on the left-hander's batter's box. It was just one of those interesting spins on the ball.
0-2 count. Hagler delivers. Grounded to third, scooped up by Buffkin to second for 1, over to first, 5-4-3, inning-ending double play. Braves turn 2. They'll come back up to bat, holding a 14-5 lead. We'll be right back.
you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
The Braves have completed 4 trips through the batting order in this game. They're coming up to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. That's a lot of hits. 17 of them to be exact. 14 runs for the Braves. They lead the Hawks by 9. And it's Roberto Rivera leading things off for UNCP in the bottom of the 6th.
It's also interesting that when back in the 4th inning, whenever when the Hawks scored 3 runs at the top of the 4th inning, we only scored 1. We were looking at it, and the Braves only had like 10 hits. They were only leading by about 4 hits in the hit category, and now they've kind of widened the gaps. The Braves have pushed it out to more than 10 hits, more than their opponent.
First pitch breaking ball, called a strike on Rivera. 1 for 3 at the plate. Seawick's pitch is grounded to second, scooped up by Garganis, and thrown over to first for the out.
Is that Rivera's 5th at bat?
That was Rivera's 4th official at bat. He walked in the 2nd.
Okay.
5th plate appearance.
That's what I was looking for, was appearance.
Right fielder Nick Debo.
I was kind of getting used to seeing him every inning. That's how I was keeping up with what inning it was.
Well, he did start at the plate in the 4th inning, but Nick Salisbury was caught stealing, so he didn't get to actually see a pitch in the 4th, but he would have. As Nick Debo looks at one in the dirt for ball 1. Debo has had himself a day. He's been on base every time, and he's actually scored every time. He scored 4 runs in this game. Reached on an error in the 1st, singled in the 2nd, tripled in the 3rd, and singled in the 5th. 2 runs batted in, 4 runs scored. Debo hits this one to right field. On the run, the catch made by Arco Basso. He got a nice beat on that ball and tracked down. 2 up and 2 down for UNCP in the 6th. And might there finally be a 0 in an inning for the Braves? They've scored in every inning. It's on Spell Ali Mansaba to try to keep this going.
Well, and this is probably the guy you want to have up at the plate if you want to keep a scoring spree going.
Mansaba's 3 for 4 with 3 singles, 1 run batted in. Came in hitting better than .420 on the season. The lefty steps in to face the right-handed pitcher, Carter Seawick, and takes a strike. Wind up the 0-1 is a nasty breaking ball. It fools Ali Mansaba for strike 2.
Kind of sitting on the edge of my seat for that pitch. I really don't want to see the Braves post a 0. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Wind up the 0-2. Taking strike 3 looking. Ali Mansaba disagreeing with the call, but the Braves go 3 up and 3 down in the 6th. We'll go to the top of the 7th. It's 14-5, UNC Pembroke.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
New pitcher for UNCP is number 47, Chance Pauley. Pauley's a sophomore from Glen Allen, Virginia. Transfer from Lewisburg.
He transferred in? Is he another one of the transfers that the Braves picked up this year?
I believe so. The righty takes over. The Braves are up 14-5 over the Hawks from Chowan University. They'll play again tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. first pitch, available right here on the Braves Broadcast Network. And our last broadcast this week will be Thursday, UNCP softball doubleheader starting at 4 p.m. as they take on the Limestone Saints. So it's a busy week in terms of weekdays, and then both baseball and softball on the road this weekend. That is your upcoming schedule on the Braves Broadcast Network. First pitch, fastball, low and inside, ball one called to Zach Cooper at the plate. 1 for 2, walked, and had an RBI single. Pauley's 1-0. Nicks the outside corner.
One thing that's been true throughout this game is every pitcher the Braves have put on the mound, they've all brought heat and speed. And Hagler brought that big sweeping curve, but for the most part, every one of them have been pretty consistent with some kind of fastball action that's been moving pretty good, kept everybody off balance.
Pauley with the 2-1, it's fouled straight back and out of play. Two. Rounded back up the middle. Wow, what a pick by Pauley. He caught that in the air. Wow.
Somebody just said, thank you. That hit him so fast that I don't think he even closed his glove. I think it just closed around it.
Yeah.
That was just one of those things. He didn't react to it. It just hit perfect.
It just found his glove.
Designated hitter, Aaron Flanagan.
Well, sometimes those come so quickly, it takes the glove right off.
Right. You make a great catch. You make a great catch, and then you turn around and hit the next guy.
So Pauley,
he was probably
first base there. Probably still a little wired from that last out.
He was juiced up a little bit about, wow, I actually caught that.
One time the ball comes at you that quickly, even if it's at your ankles or at your knees, it freaks you out a little bit as a pitcher. That's a very fast-moving projectile. Pauley's pitch fouled off.
And putting the glove there truly is nothing but a defensive move. And you're right. Normally it does take the glove right off. So he did a better job of just holding on to the glove.
Flanagan is on first following the hit by pitch to Josh Martin at the plate now. He's 0 for 3. From the stretch, the 0-1 pitch. Misses low and outside. Detillo, the acrobatic stop. The 1-1. Popped up to the right side. On the run is Debo in right field, in shallow right field. Now he has to retreat a little bit, makes the catch, and there's 2 away. Now it's Wade Wyatt's turn to hit.
We've seen Wade Wyatt a lot in this game, too. I mean, because, again, even though the Hawks haven't hit as many times as the Braves have, it seems like every time we turn around, Wade Wyatt is up to bat.
He's the number 7 hitter, making his 4th plate appearance, and hits this one back up the middle, down into center field. Holding up at second is Flanagan, a 2-out single for Wade Wyatt. And it's his 2nd hit of the ball game. So on comes Marvin Harrell, who hasn't put the ball in play yet. 2 strikeouts and a walk for Harrell. Hawks trail this one 14-5 in the top of the 7th.
Center fielder, Marvin Harrell.
And as the temperature continues to drop, you know the Braves want to just get this one, moving forward, moving towards a final. It's now 59 degrees, clear with a pretty strong breeze in Pembroke. Pitch fouled off to the right side. Harrell fights it off.
And it is a clear night. I have no idea where I was going with that, but it is a clear night.
That can actually help it cool down quicker. Think of it more in the summer when a warm, muggy summer evening where the clouds just kind of keep the heat in. On a somewhat chilly spring day, it then actually hurts. Makes the temperature drop. 0-2 on the way. Big breaking ball. It stays high.
Wow, that was a nice pitch. Didn't have that sweep like Hagler's did, but that one had some movement on it.
Pauly working from the stretch with 2 men aboard. It's a 14-5 UNC Pembroke lead. The pitch. Ground into second. Salisbury scoops it up, throws, and that's the inning. It's 7th inning stretch time at Cox Field. Braves up 14-5. Bottom of the 7th, UNCP leads Chowan 14-5 here on the Braves Broadcast Network. With Todd Coates, I'm Cameron Songer. Thanks for joining us on the Braves Broadcast Network. A fun one so far, Todd.
Oh yeah, this has been the offensive onslaught you and I thought were going to happen at the very beginning, and it methodically happened. 3 runs here, 3 runs there.
Fastball high and tight. That just barely misses hitting Drew Beaver.
And it's been nice because it's been some long balls that went with it. It wasn't. It's been a good hitting all the way around by the Braves. So
Beaver gets a lot of this ball high, a little too high to center field. Harrell gets to it,
dropped it,
and drops it. And that's the 4th error of the game by Chowan. And on a day where not a lot of things have gone right for the Hawks, that doesn't help.
No. Harrell's had a tough time at the plate, and now he's proven he's had a tough time out in center field.
And he's a little shaken up there. Maybe can't tell if he's injured or just frustrated with himself for not getting that ball.
And he was camped out underneath it. I mean, he had pitched a tent and was building a campfire and everything, and he was just waiting on it.
That ball was in the air for a very long time. Breaking ball, outside corner, called to strike to Christian Snyder. Braves held scoreless in the first inning, or for the first time in a half inning, last time in the 6th. 3 in the first, second, and third each. as Snyder crushes this ball. An absolute bomb from Christian Snyder. That's into the next county. A 2-run homer. It's 16-5 Braves.
You know that the ball is going out of the yard really, really quick when the entire infield just drops their head down. And the pitcher never even looked. He just walked towards the dugout like, are you going to pull me? Or are we waiting for it to land before you pull me?
You know, maybe checking to see if that ball actually ever fell or if it went into orbit. He hit that ball so hard. I mean, there's a house beyond the right field fence. There's an extra chain link fence because that part of the stadium, over the fence, it's someone's home. I think that actually cleared the first house and went to the neighbor's house, like 2 houses down, 2 properties over from Cox
Right,
Field.
tomorrow there's going to be a child over there throwing baseballs around that he got from UNC Pembroke tonight.
Where did this come from? It came from Christian Snyder, that's where.
Christian Snyder. How many home runs is that tonight?
It's the Braves' 4th.
Okay.
It's the first for Snyder today. It's Justin Detillo at the plate now. He fouls this one off to the right side. Now the count 0-2. So Drew Beaver had one in the first. Nick Salisbury had one in the second. Nolan Pierce had one in the 4th. Christian Snyder with one here in the 7th.
So about one every couple innings.
A 3-run, 2 solos, and 1 2-run blast.
And that was a blast. That one was, there were people that weren't even at this game that heard it hit the bat and knew it was gone.
And a tape measure shot. And now Detillo gets a lot of this ball. To right center, it's back, and it is gone! Justin Detillo goes back-to-back home run.
All right, now they're really messing with my math because now we're not one every 2 innings. And
Detillo has his 2nd homer of the year.
And that takes us to 17 runs, which ties our most runs of a game this season.
17-5 UNCP. And now a pinch hitter coming up for the Braves.
Justin White.
C.J. White, number 27, C.J. White.
I've got to list him as. Oh, hey, 27, not 37, Todd. I told you they're messing with my math. Now, C.J. White goes yard.
I don't know.
If that happens, I'm not trying to say anything, but I'm already thinking we're not going to see any pitching, that we're not going to have to bat in the bottom of the 9th.
This one high and inside, ball 1. C.J. White, a freshman from Concord, North Carolina. J.M. Robinson High School. High and inside again. Trying to back him off the plate. So Nolan Pierce's day is done in the outfield. He ended up going 2 for 4, had a solo home run in the 4th to highlight his evening. 17 runs on 19 hits for the Braves. Fastball low and outside.
After throwing 2 home run pitches, I would probably be nowhere near this guy, even though he's a pinch hitter.
Coming in cold, coming in off the bench. Carter Seawick just trying to keep recording some outs. Instead, it's a 4-pitch walk to C.J. White. Martin comes out from behind the plate. Just a word with his pitcher. Still no outs in the bottom of the 7th. 3 runs already across for UNCP. And here's Hayden Buffkin once again. Buffkin 2 for 4 at the plate today.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand.
I'm going to tell you what, being a stadium announcer must be fun. That's all I'm going to say.
I'd say that's probably the second coolest job in the world behind what we were doing here tonight.
Okay, I will give you that. I will give you that. And third, a very close third would be, writing for Wikipedia.
Really? Seems like a little bit of a reach. It's probably on the list somewhere.
Well, I mean, just think about it. You can make up stuff.
You could.
For the most part.
You could.
I mean, again, we could actually write a Wikipedia page about this game and say that the Braves had to put on a batting clinic just to come back to win.
Yeah, come from behind. We talked about it earlier. And as you pointed out, it's not an official game yet. So if for some reason there was a giant storm came in and it started just pouring.
Yeah, okay. I got nothing.
I mean,
I'm with you.
Fortunately, there's no rain in the forecast if you're a Braves fan. Breaking ball. Misses high and tight on Buffkin. 3-1 the count.
So the Hawks pitcher gives up 2 home runs, and now in the next 8 pitches, he's thrown 7 balls and a strike.
Buffkin chops this one in the infield. High bouncer in the infield, barehanded it short, and he'll have to hold on to it. Woods probably made the smart play to have to barehand that, but it was just chopped so high in the infield that there was nothing he could have done with it. The 20th hit of the game for UNCP.
And when it hit the grass on the infield, it just died. I mean, and that's a tough call for an infielder. Do I barehand it? The smart play is to barehand it, but it just kind of died on him.
Here's Nick Salisbury. Still no outs here in the 7th. Salisbury, the 6th hitter to come to the plate for UNCP. Takes strike 1 at the knees. Salisbury today has a home run, 2 fielder's choices, and 1 sack bunt.
And to hit him at the knees with a strike, you got to get low.
5'5", Nick Salisbury takes a breaking ball there. Called strike 2. It's White on second, Buffkin on first. Braves with the 17-5 lead in the bottom of the 7th. Seawick's pitch misses low and inside. It's dropped. Runner's kind of stuck. Now they'll throw over to first. Getting back in safely is Buffkin. That was dangerous.
That was dangerous and odd. It seemed to take forever to develop because the first baseman was standing on first base for quite a while. It's almost like we were challenging the Braves, like the Braves were challenging him to pick a side, throw it.
1-2 pitch on the way. Salisbury crushes it to first. It's caught in the air, and tagging first base is Cooper. And it's an unassisted double play by the first baseman. So the interesting day at the plate continues for Nick Salisbury.
Yeah, because, again, well-struck ball. Just a great play by Zach Cooper at first.
Back to the top of the order we go. Roberto Rivera making his 6th plate appearance in the 7th inning. Runner on second. The pitch. High and outside. Called a ball.
Yeah, I didn't understand why you delayed on that one. The way that the umpire's been going, that might have been a strike earlier in the game. Although I would have thought as it's gotten colder, it would have been a strike.
The 1-0 to Rivera.
That's
one
was.
in there. Yeah, no doubt about that one. "17 runs, 20 hits, 1 error by the Braves. 5 runs, 8 hits, 4 errors by the Hawks." The 1-1. Rivera golfs it foul to the right side. There's a little check swing. I think he wants that one back. That was probably ball 2. Instead it's strike 2.
Rivera's just getting into the swing of the spring season. Working on his golf game right there.
Seawick's pitch. Breaking ball. Called ball 2. They're 1 for 4 at the plate today. He's walked and scored a pair of runs. 2-2, 2 outs. The pitch misses in the dirt.
I think that was like the pitch he just fouled off. He almost wanted it. And it's hard to commit and stop, but he did a good job there.
White stands on second. Rivera digs back into the right-handed batter's box. The payoff pitch. Swung on, grounded, foul down the first base line.
Not a way to battle.
So Nick Debo is due up next, but it is Nick Hayes warming up in the on-deck circle. We'll have to see if he comes up or if they'll just make a defensive change if Rivera ends up making it out. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball, ball 4.
Good eye. That was a good battle.
Rivera draws his second walk of the game. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for UNCP. It's junior outfielder number 29, Nick Hayes. Hayes is now the 8th batter to come to the plate this inning for UNCP. As the Braves have gone with 2 pinch hitters this inning, both for outfielders. The corner outfielders at that, left field and right field.
Pinch hitter 29, Nick Hayes.
I'm glad you saw the number this time and not me.
Pitch. Hayes takes on the outside corner, strike 1 called. Hayes is from Wakefield, Rhode Island, a transfer from Central Connecticut State. A D1 program up there in the Northeast. 0-1. Hayes grounds it into right field. They will wave home White. He will score without a throw, and the Braves have a new season high for runs, 18-5.
I think this is starting to get out of hand. Not really.
I would say it's been out of hand for a little while. 4 runs this inning for UNCP. Another pinch hitter coming up in the DH spot. It'll be Luke Jackson.
And once again, another meeting at the mound.
Looks like we'll get a pitching change here for the Hawks. So we will take a break here on the Braves Broadcast Network. More Braves hitting coming up next. They lead 18-5. We'll be right back.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Jack Downham.
Okay, if we don't talk about how they brought in Downham to sit him down, then we're really missing the boat in an 8.
Oh, yeah. Jack Downham, the new pitcher here for the Hawks.
Well, and as I was saying, you know.
Right, that's a good name for a pitcher. You set him down.
Yeah, sit him down. I mean, you're down 18-5, and you need somebody to kind of shut all of this down, and so you send in a guy named Downham.
It's an apt pitching name. I like a good name. It's like an offensive lineman named Wall, or trying to think of, or a quarterback named Armstrong. Some things are just meant to be.
Exactly. And you know, here's a nice thing, a little bit of showmanship out there on second, you know, where everybody's just kind of talking together. You know, even though the Braves are up 18-5, you know, maybe they're trying to figure out how do you hit so well. I don't know. Maybe there's a clinic going on out there.
Give it some tips. Yeah, Roberto Rivera is the man on second. Nick Hayes is on first following the RBI single. It's Luke Jackson coming up to pinch hit. Will be the first action for Jack Downham.
And Downham throws something similar that we've seen, a little more upright, not the sidearm stuff, but he's also looks like a three-quarter releaser.
Downham listed as an infielder on the Chowan roster. His first pitch in there for a called strike. Downham is a sophomore from Edenton, North Carolina, from College of the Albemarle.
Where? Oh, Albemarle. I'm with you. Okay. If I hadn't grown up in about 2 hours from here, in a little town called Burgaw and Wallace, I wouldn't have known that was Albemarle either.
All right. 0-2 is the count to Jackson. He grounds this one to first. It gets through into right field. They'll wave home Rivera. And on to third goes Hayes. And off the end of the bat base hit. RBI single for Luke Jackson. It's 19-5 UNCP.
Now, another CNI single.
That was the 22nd hit of the game for the black and gold. And at a certain point, I mean, they're playing this same team again tomorrow. They're not trying to shoot them up. They're not swinging for the fences right there. That was just a two out, two strike. Put the bat on the ball, and it just found its way through. You want to bottle some of this up and save it.
Well, you're right. And the thing the Braves have done, and it's something that I've even tried to teach my son Beckham, is that you don't want to hit you're not trying to hit for the fence every time, and that's what the Braves have done. They've come up here and they've just swung the bat. The home runs have come on good hits, but it wasn't like they were trying to knock it out of the park. It went out on the park on its own. So Beckham, if you're listening, you need to pay attention to that.
Breaking ball called a strike at the knees. 0-2 to Drew Beaver. He is 2 for 4 at the plate today. 4 runs batted in. He had a 3-run homer in the first that opened the scoring for the Braves. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth, now 5 here in the seventh.
Yeah, they took the 6 off. I don't know what happened.
They were entitled to a little bit of a break, I suppose. But a conspicuous 0 on the scoreboard there.
Their arms were tired from swinging.
0-2, 2 outs, runners at the corners for Drew Beaver. The pitch from Downham. High and outside, it gets to the backstop, and that will score the run from third. It's now 20-5 UNCP.
Well, Downham's not necessarily living up to his namesake.
One, 2 outs. The inning continues. Beaver led off this inning by reaching on an error. The 1-2 pitch, low and outside. The catcher, Martin, will come hand deliver this ball back to Downham. Quick word of encouragement as the Hawks just 1 pitch away, 1 strike away from getting out of a very long bottom of the 7th inning.
But he's just probably trying to settle down the infielder-made pitcher.
2-2 pitch, and that
did not help.
It hits Beaver on the leg, and the inning will continue. And they're going to call it back.
What? I'm sorry. I'm at a loss. I'm confused. I don't.
Oh, the ump saying that Beaver should have gotten out of the way there, and he
just stood there.
Stood there and made a move perhaps to get hit. Kind of that back leg. Now Beaver checks his swing. It's called strike 3. So the inning finally comes to a close. The Braves score 6 in the bottom of the 7th. We'll go to the top of the 8th. It's 20-5 UNC Pembroke.
In the inning for the Braves.
New pitcher for UNCP is number 38, Chris Stewart. The 4th different pitcher have used today. And, why not? Let's keep it moving here for the Braves as get some guys some different looks. Chris Stewart is a senior, a transfer from USC Lancaster by way of Batesburg, South Carolina. And the defensive changes to note for UNCP as they had a pair of pinch hitters last inning. Nick Hayes will take over for Debo in right field. And in left field, it's now C.J. White.
Well, as the temperature has dropped, so have the bats for the Hawks. Because since the 4th inning, they had that little onslaught, and you and I talked about it becoming a situation where are we going to let them hang around? Are we going to let the Hawks hang around? The Braves let the Hawks hang around and make this a game? And then, yeah, that ended quickly, abruptly, rapidly.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
And I would say quick, fast, in a hurry, but we teed off at this, 1 minute before 6, and now it's 8:37. So I guess we're making good time.
For a game that's seen 30 total hits between the two teams, yeah.
And 25 runs.
It's moved pretty quickly. First pitch, fastball, called a strike on the outside corner from Chris Stewart.
And this is, again, one of those times where focus could...
This ball popped foul along the first base line. He's got his exercise in there.
This could be one of those times where focus comes into play. The other thing that's interesting here with making some substitutions, as it's gotten colder, the Braves have had, people spitting on the bench, and now you got somebody out here, and he all of a sudden starts. You would hope that everybody's in good enough condition, but you run the risk.
That's ball 1. So the count now 1-2 to Emery Chop, the number 9 hitter in the Hawks batting order today. Chop is 1 for 3 at the plate so far. It'll be Woods and Arcobasso on deck and in the hole this inning. In the dirt, 2-2 now.
Good game all in all, though.
On the windup, the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 looking. Chris Stewart fans the first batter he faces this evening. And the Braves dugout likes what they're seeing.
Well, if that's any indication that no motivation has dropped off, because they've been staying behind everybody out there in the field. They've stayed engaged in this game.
This one fouled off into the net by Tanner Woods. Woods is 0 for 2 today. He's also walked and been hit by a pitch.
A phantom hit by a pitch, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that was the
that was a gift.
The baggy jersey hit by pitch.
The umpire blinked. Oh, maybe he got hit.
0-2 count here to Woods. 1 out, bases empty in the top of the 8th. The pitch. just misses.
Wow. That's got a lot of people, myself included, shaking my head going, man, are my eyes stuck?
1-2. That one a little bit more obviously a ball as it gets to the backstop. 20-5 is the UNCP lead. They've looked like the better team in just about every category. 22 hits to 8 and 4 Hawks errors versus just 1 by the black and gold. Wind up the 2-2 pitch. Grounded foul toward the Braves bench. That could be Woods saying he doesn't appreciate the the commentary coming from the Braves dugout as the Braves players kind of making their own version of calling balls and strikes.
Exactly.
As Woods hits this ball to center field, it's dropping quickly. Rivera has a beat on it. That one kind of comes in on his body. He's able to make the catch for the second out.
Well, you made a comment on the 4 errors, and when the Hawks are looking back on this game tonight and even tomorrow probably, those errors didn't really figure into the 20 runs that they've given up because it's just been good, solid, steady pounding by the bats.
Fastball stays high on Connor Arcobasso. Arcobasso has the real bright spot today for the Hawks, that 3-run homer back in the 4th. When he was done running the bases, it was a 9-5 game.
Exactly. It was a 9-5 game, and we again, the collective you and I, thinking that it'd be a hang-around game.
And then the Braves scored 11 unanswered. And it's still going. 1-2 as Arcobasso fouled that one off and scatters his teammates in the dugout with that last swing.
Maybe he's trying to tell them get fired up like they are.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt.
I tell you what, I don't know if the Braves have been working on it or if they just haven't necessarily seen it tonight, but I've seen it tonight just for the first time, but all the pitching staff tonight have really brought some serious curveballs, some major movement to their breaking balls tonight.
This one fouled off, so Arcobasso stays alive. He's 2 for 3 at the plate today. Singled, homered, and walked. 2-2, 2 outs, the base is empty. The pitch, fouled off again. Just got a piece of it. Couple guys getting loose in the Braves bullpen. See if Stewart gets to stay out and pitch the 9th as well, or we'll see a 5th Braves pitcher in this game. The pitch, fouled off again. Good contact made there.
Oh, you can tell you've been standing around watching a long baseball game when you can only hear somebody make comment not hitting the light and relating it to tuition.
That one close to catching the inside corner. Well, yeah, that would be the only real negative for the Braves if something like that happened. Obviously, you know, an injury would not be good. And Stewart gets the swinging strikeout. 1-2-3 for the Hawks in the 8th. Braves will have one more chance to add to a 15-run lead. Coming up to bat in the bottom of the 8th, leading 20-5.
We often get the question, where does the money go? More than 90% of NCAA revenue supports 89 championships and more than 1,100 member schools that give $2.7 billion in scholarships each year. Look around you. There are more than 450,000 student athletes competing every year, succeeding on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Bottom line, we put our money where our mission is.
back here in Pembroke. And a reminder that the Braves will be hosting their annual Cash Bash fundraiser for the Braves Club Thursday, April 21st. For more information, visit uncpbraves.com. You can also purchase tickets by calling 910-775-4339. While you're on uncpbraves.com, your home for all things UNCP athletics online. Plenty of things to check out, game recaps, previews, links to our YouTube page as well, and all the social media of the Braves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search UNCP Braves or UNCP Sports. It'll pop right up. You can also follow the Braves baseball and other specific teams on Twitter. Snyder hits this ball high and deep towards left field. Not enough on it as Wyatt gets to field for the first.
Well, it looks like they decided to leave Downham out there to bring this home, maybe, to close this thing out for the, because all things considered, this should be the last time the Braves hit today.
It would be a miracle if it wasn't.
It could happen.
The Hawks trail by 15.
It could happen.
At least. As they will be. They'll still have the top of the ninth to try to hit. Pinch hitter for UNCP, it's number 45, Wiley Jackson. Jackson, a transfer from Pfeiffer, by way of Kinston, North Carolina. The pitch, breaking ball, called a strike.
Wow.
It's a nice curveball for a guy who's not listed as a pitcher.
Exactly. He's actually thrown pretty good. Lived up to the name a little bit.
Jack Downham. As Jackson tags this ball straight to the left fielder, Wyatt. Doesn't have to move very far. He has recorded both putouts this inning.
Wyatt is happy he's finally got some action where he can actually make a play on a ball.
A lot of the Braves' home runs have been hit to right field, but they've not decided where they hit it all over the field. Just sprayed it all over the place on the course of getting 22 hits, plating 20 runs. It's C.J. White now to the plate. He walked in his first plate appearance when he came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th. Getting another chance here in the 8th. He grounds this ball back up the middle. That's hit number 23 in the game for UNCP. A 2-out single by C.J. White. And it'll be Hayden Buffkin coming up next for the Braves. He will let him just keep going. As he has 3 hits in this game. He's 3 for 5. Getting a chance to get a 6th plate appearance in a game is a pretty rare occurrence for a regulation in 9-inning game, especially for a team that's only going to 8 innings.
Exactly. That's the part that just makes you scratch your head a little bit more.
Pitch. Buffkin times it up, hits it into the right center field gap. That's down. Cut off in center field by Harrell. Buffkin digging for second. He's got it standing up. 2 outs. Standing for Hayden Buffkin, his 2nd double of the game, and his 4th hit this evening.
Second baseman Nick Salisbury.
White goes third. On 2nd and 3rd for Nick Salisbury.
Now, would this be a great inning if he closes out this game hitting him another home run, his last plate appearance?
Be a nice bookend to a pretty solid game for the Braves' second baseman, who hit a home run in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. Since then, he doesn't have any other base hits.
He only hits the big. If it's not out of the park, I don't want to hit it.
Down with the 0-1. Curveball outside corner, strike 2.
Ooh.
And the throw back to the pitcher gets away from him, but it glanced off his glove to the shortstop Woods. A lucky bounce there for the Hawks. One that I'm not sure, if that had gotten into center field, I'm not sure the Braves would have taken those extra bases.
No.
In a 15-run game. Because then you're denying chance at more runs batted in.
And it's all about who's at bat right now.
0-2. He hits it into the right center field gap. It hangs up there for a little bit, and it is caught by Harrell. That looks really good coming off the bat, but then it spun back to center field. So the Braves don't get anything in the bottom of the 8th. Chowan, down by 15 runs, comes to bat in the top of the 9th when we come back. New pitcher here in the top of the 9th for UNCP. It's the senior right-hander, number 43, Tyler Holt. Transfer from Lewisburg College via Cary, North Carolina. And Jackson will stay in the game. Wiley Jackson will take over behind the plate as the catcher. 20-5 is UNCP's lead as we begin the top of the 9th inning. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 coming up for the Hawks. Garganis, Cooper, and Flanagan due up. We'll see if the Hawks choose to pinch hit any of those to get some different players some looks in this game. As the Braves fell behind early, 1 run in the top of the 1st for the Hawks, and then the Braves got to work on offense. They led at one point. A lot of points they led by a lot of them. I mean, I was going to go through and do all the math, but bottom line, the Braves scored 3 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, 6 in the 7th. And that gets you to 20. Hunter Woods is the pinch hitter here for the Hawks. Takes a first pitch, strike on the fastball outside corner.
And as you mentioned earlier in the game, this is Hunter Woods, which is
he's the younger brother of Tanner Woods.
Tanner Woods' is younger brother. And if you were to really look at him outside of the fact that he doesn't have as big of forearms and broader shoulders, they look just about alike. Standing there in baseball uniform.
Swings and misses. The pitch dropped. Jackson throws over to first. There's the out. 1 up and 1 down for Tyler Holt. Now another pinch hitter here for Chowan. This will be number 17, Trey Harper. A sophomore from Lenore, North Carolina. West Caldwell High School product. Takes a fastball at the knees, strike 1. So Tyler Holt comes in. He's not messing around. He's throwing strikes. He wants to wrap this game up.
He's cold.
It's getting chilly out here. This one grounded back up the middle off the glove of Holt. Bare hands, throws to first in time for the out. That was great awareness there by Holt. He recognized that he had some time once he scampered back over to that ball. Kind of double pumped a little bit like he was thinking about not throwing, but he looked up and saw the runner was not already at the bag, so he tossed it over and got the out.
The pitcher, 34, Jack Downham.
And now Downham will come up to the plate and hit.
He can only help his own cause.
6'7" sophomore.
What? 6'7". That you're in Randy Johnson territory when you're standing 6'7".
The 0-1 from Holt. Low for a ball.
Now, if he goes yard, that'll be interesting too. I actually would clap for that one.
The 1-1. Strike 2 called.
Yeah. And it's at this point in time, Downham's looking at the umpire going, where were those calls from me?
The 1-2 pitch from Holt. That's in the dirt. You can stretch the strike zone a little bit as this game's rapidly approaching its conclusion, but that's not going to be a strike.
Nope. Not even in T-ball.
I like that. I like that. It's good. Holt winds and throws the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3. This ball game is over. The Braves victorious this evening. They defeat the Chowan Hawks 20-5. The Braves improved to 19-8 on the season. The Hawks dropped to 10-16 overall. And the Braves and Hawks will be back in action tomorrow, 3 p.m. first pitch. We'll see you then. For my broadcast partner, Todd Coates, and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Cameron Songer saying thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your night.